understand. Girl, you've been charging by the hour.
Top Hill, what's going on, man?
I'm trying to show how much I love you. Still believing in romance. You
Start out so
can't wait
smooth
too
this tonight,
many
man.
chances.
Know about this.
With my love, I remember when you used to be the talk of the town. All you get is lonely. Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down. I can show you how. Turn your love around. Without a woman, I can make it, but I need the girl to stay. Oh, don't you let the lady take it all away. When
Microphone
the
check, 1 2 1 2.
woman
Microphone
needs a
check,
taste
1
of
2 1 2.
yesterday, if he stays at home, all they get is lonely. Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down.
Yes, sir.
I can show you how. Turn your love around. Oh, girl, you know me. I'm alone until you show me that you're still in love with me.
Shout out to Carmen. She's on the way, y'all.
We're gonna take it back where we belong. Turn your love around. Don't you turn me down. I can show you how. Turn your love around. Turn your love around. And the girl became a woman. Don't you turn me down. Every woman needs a man. I can show you how. I love the girl, I love the woman. Turn your love around. Turn your love around. And the girl became a woman. Don't you turn me down. Every woman needs a man. I can show you how. I love the girl, I love the woman. Turn your love around.
Yeah.
Turn your love around. It's time to
Check, check, sure.
become a woman. Don't you turn me down. Every woman
Yes, sir. Hold up, man. Hold up, man. We here, we here.
Top, top, top.
Round of applause, round of applause. What's going on? What's going on, good people? Let's go ahead and get started, guys. 3, 2, 1. Top, 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 top. Top Hill, episode 244. Welcome to another episode of the Top Hill Live. This is your boy, Mr. Top Hill Live, aka Imani Raw. Shout out to the official Carmen. Guys, she's running a little bit late. Don't be mad. She's on the way. Shout out to Carmen. And yeah, guys, if you guys don't know, this show is dedicated to bridging the gap between the cultures, people in the diaspora, people in the continent. This is the hub where we come together. We have great conversations. We build together. We learn together. We grow together. You hear me? And today we got a very, very special episode today, guys. We got a very special guest. Before I bring this gentleman on, man, just want to continue with our mission of bringing the gap, bridging the gap together, man. Connecting with people in the diaspora and people on the continent with real conversations. Our special guest tonight is someone who truly is making an impact across the continent. He is a board certified behavior analyst from Houston, Texas, who made the bold move to Nairobi, Kenya. You guys already know I love me some Kenya, man. Where he's changing lives through his work in autism awareness and behavioral therapy. He's a co-founder of the Voices of Behavior in Kenya, an organization dedicated to bringing autism resources, education, and empowerment to families and the communities across the continent. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for our special guest tonight, our man Jared Jackson. What's going on, bro? What's up, man? Oh, of course, man. It's my pleasure. I do okay. I did all right. You know what I mean? I'll make sure I hit all the boxes. You know what I mean? Make sure they know who we got in here.
Yeah. You did everything.
Bet. Well, from me and from Carmen, man, we really appreciate you for coming on to the show tonight. I'm excited to have you on. Excited to have this conversation, man. But yeah, man. First off, Jay, I just want to welcome you on to the show. And how's life treating you over there in Nairobi, man? Are you over there right now?
Yeah, I'm in Nairobi right now.
Man, so what's it like, man? How's it? How's the vibes? What's going on over there, man? Like walk us through real quick, man.
Yeah, so for me, I work late at night, like not this late, but I stayed up to be with y'all.
Appreciate that.
During the morning, like when I get up like 8, 9, 10, whenever the time is, I just kind of hang out with some friends. I have a good friend group. I do some content creation, and then see clients the rest of the night, rest of the evening.
For sure, man. Sound like a good vibe, a good time, man. I had the blessing and honor of experiencing Kenya myself back in I believe it was 2023. It was 2 years ago. I went out there for my birthday, man, and had such an incredible time and experience out there. Like Kenya actually is responsible for giving me post-travel depression. I ain't gonna lie. As soon as I came back to the States, man, I just I was like, I need to seek a therapist.
I could relate.
Man, bro, like it's so funny, man. Like I tell people this all the time. Like as soon as I got off the airplane, it's like the air is just different. It's like I'm breathing air like for the first time. You know what I mean? Like the first couple of days, my body starts detoxifying, and I'm like, well, what the heck is happening to me right now? You know what I mean? Did you have some of those similar type of experience, or like what would you say is like something that stood out to you when you first arrived to Kenya?
Yeah, for sure. Like for example, I went to this boxing event for famous YouTubers and stuff. Like a celebrity boxing event here at Alchemist in Nairobi. And then, I know guys like Troy and all the American guys, but then we met more American guys.
Right.
And then I'm in like this group with all these Indians and we just feel like it's like you with your cousins or something.
Right.
So it's just like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Every day when I'm walking around, and it's only black people, and and when you like you said without the airplane, you start walking around and seeing giraffes and elephants or whatever. See, we go and see mama, whatever. But it's just a very liberating, great feeling as a black man.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like I tell people all the time, like the people who don't travel enough, like it's something different when you go to a country that looks like you, is ran by people like you. Everything around you is you. It's like it's a different sense of like comfort. You know what I mean? It's like, being in the States, it's not something you ever really think about that much. Like depending on what area you grow up in, like, I'm in the DMV area, so there's a lot of like, prominent black people and stuff like that. So like this, it's not unusual to see a lot of black people with money. But, as soon as you start stepping out of some of these areas, you know what I mean, like Houston, Atlanta, DC, and you start to look like, oh wow, like black wealth is not as common, you know what I mean? But you see these different countries. I mean, these are whole freaking countries and cities and stuff like that across the continent that got it. So
Yeah.
For sure. So a little bit more about you, man. How many places have you been to? Like how many countries have you traveled to? And why Kenya?
27.
Wow, man. 27 countries. How many African countries, just out of curiosity?
3. I've been to Ghana, South Africa, and India.
Okay. All right, man. So So what made Kenya so special that you decided to, pretty much stay there for a longer period of time?
So I give you the short version. The short version is I get everything I need that I can get in America without the bullshit.
Right. Like, what do you mean by the bullshit? Like let's dig a little bit deep, man. What we talking about, man?
Yeah. So that's the short version, and the long version would say I'm able to cultivate everything I was able to cultivate in the States. Like you were saying, I founded that organization called Voices of Behavior. I kind of did the same thing in Houston with my clinic in Houston, where I basically provide services to children with autism. And I'm able to supervise and still do my job in the States via telehealth. And then I'm also able to, kind of build on here. Slowly but surely, Pole is a white word. And,
very familiar.
I'm able to do exactly the same thing I was doing here, but I just don't have to deal with like if I walk into a room, the white parent, they're thinking I'm the person that's working for the white girl that's actually working for me.
Right.
So
interesting. Yeah, I get it. How was it like? Did you have to like tell your friends, your family? Did they look at you kind of weird and like, what do you mean you're staying out there? Like, what was that experience like when you had to tell your friends and family what you were doing?
So I think that Western media doesn't want to tell the truth about Africa.
Right.
Either they don't want to, or they're just ignorant.
Right.
I think it's both. Mainly they're ignorant because most of the people that talk on these CNNs and these was never actually been in Africa. So you grow up thinking that Africa is those commercials with those skinny boys looking like starving,
right?
Or the safaris that you see on commercials. Until you actually get the reality, and basically everyone and all of the people that was around me was like, why do you want to go there? It's dangerous. There's nowhere for you to like, do your job, and they think that it's like everywhere.
Right.
But for me, I just had to like take myself away from the noise.
Yeah.
And stop worrying about what people thought. And actually start living my purpose.
Right. No, that's so real, man. How many times I heard like, "Oh, be safe when you're over there." Do they speak English, or are you gonna be able to like use phone and internet? I'm like, bro, like, yes, they speak English. Yes. Matter of fact, like I don't know about you, man, but I know the Airbnb that I stayed at, I felt like I had like, if not faster internet, like they just didn't throttle it as much as they do here in the United States. I'm like, not only is this like really good internet, like this is like fast, like, compared. I know not every country is the same, you know what I mean? But like, I know when I was in Nairobi and I was in Kenya, it was really good, so. I do want to dive into a little bit of what you're doing with Voices of Behavior and the autism advocacy. Like, so what led you to like spark this idea, bring this to Kenya? Start it in the States and then bring it over to Kenya. Like, what made you passionate about doing this?
Yeah, so I was a kid that always got kicked out of class. I was a kid who fights like every 6 weeks in school. I was that kid. You know what I mean? So joining the gang like 12, I had ADHD. So all these things was going on with me, and I wasn't successful at school until I met a couple of people when I was like 16, 17, and they kind of just like saved my life, and I went to the military. I always thought about that guy or that little kid, that little Jared.
Yeah.
It really didn't have nobody. And then I started doing research. I thought I was going to be a pediatrician, but I wanted to actually help people that have special needs and see if I could bring some of my expertise, being that I was that person, and now I kind of got out of that.
Yeah.
So essentially, my the pain that I had from having ADHD and ostracized is turned into my passion for children who kind of have the same thing and kind of go through the same thing a little bit.
Right. That's super dope, man. For the people who are watching who may not like know too much about it and stuff like that, like can you break it down in like simple terms to share like how it's like so powerful? Like what are some of the like things I guess that people might have, a stereotype about that, you can kind of like dismantle that myth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people think that children with autism kind of can't be here type of thing. There's some places here in Kenya where if they learn a child has autism, they kill them and put them in the ditch.
What?
Yeah, they're still doing it to this day.
Wow.
I just got a grant for some schools in Kisumu, which is kind of far from here. I got a grant from the government, and we're doing research there, and they still practice those type of things.
Wow.
So
insane.
Yeah. But I was just express to them like all the hundreds of kids that I was able to take from, not being able to talk, not being able to properly say what they want to say, properly go to the bathroom. I took them from that to being fully functional preteens and adults. And I would say our clinic probably had a 95% success rate as far as those types of things.
Well, first of all, round of applause for that. That's incredible, man. You're helping people, man, and you're saving lives at that point. You know what I mean? You're bringing like awareness and information to people who, there's some practices that, obviously is just, should be updated. And I think if people have the information to know like, oh, wow, this actually can be treated, this could be fixed and stuff like that, then we don't have to go to those kind of extreme measures. So that's incredible, man. Like, kudos to you, man. That's actually amazing. What would you say has been like one of the most rewarding experiences that you've had in this type of work?
Actually, when I was talking about those kids, I had a kid who would have 100 aggressions a day.
100 what?
Aggressions.
Oh,
so meaning she would hit someone 100 times a day.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
I took her from doing that to by the time she was 10.
Yeah.
She had no aggressions. She would help her mom at the grocery store. Now she would go to the grocery store. Punching people. I took her from that to like actually helping her mom, actually being, a functional preteen.
Right.
And I remember telling my team that, and I just started crying because it was like it touched me to see where she started and she came from another clinic and where they didn't know what to do with it.
Wow.
And I think it's just a little bit of that belief and that passion that I have for what I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm the greatest, BCBA in the world or whatever. But I'm passionate about what I do. And anytime I can help, I actually care about my work. So I think that's all she needed, and then she just started thriving.
Right. No, that's incredible, man. You're literally an amazing testament of like what we talk about, like bridging the gap. Like you're bringing information and technology back to the continent, which is beautiful. And you doing this is like in such a unique way, you know what I mean? Because, I don't think autism is something that's like, talked about as often, you know what I mean? Like, or if it is, it's like not as like accurate information and stuff. And then I have no idea what it's like on the continent if they talk about it. Like, but how do you navigate bringing like these like, I guess, Western based practices and knowledge and stuff like that and bring it into a place like Kenya? Like, were they like warm and receptive of it? Were they giving you pushback and like, what was that like bringing it over for the first time?
Yes, they're more receptive. I would say African moms are the most difficult people to talk to about their children. And like, they need to change these things because they're like, who is this light-skinned man trying to come to my kid? So when, especially when I did the conference, I approached it from a sense of, hey, I don't know everything that's going on here in Africa or here in Kenya, but I see these issues. Told me about these issues. Here's some ideas I can give you that I've seen work in my practice.
Yeah.
And I believe in what I do, and I believe if you allow me to try to implement these procedures with the people who work for me, that we'll see some changes. And if we don't, no harm, no foul.
Right.
But like I said, we have a very high success rate because we're good at what we do and we're passionate about what we do.
Right.
So I think if you approach it from that rather than just trying to tell them what to do with their kids, I think that they're much more receptive.
Right. Do you think that like there needs you guys need like more professionals, like more people like that look like us, like more Black people in this type of field as well too, to like kind of help? Because I'm not sure. Like, do you feel like there's, I guess there's some practices may need more or less of help. Is there, what kind of challenges else do you say that you guys face that you guys need help in?
Yeah, so I in the organization started out of Atlanta, Black male behavior analyst.
Okay.
In the field, the Black male behavior analysts are less than 1% of the entire population. So there's not a lot of Black men doing what I do. It's predominantly run by white women. And with that, like I think men in the field are very effective as well, just because like we as men aren't as like emotional when it comes to kids. Oh baby, like hey little boy, get up.
Right.
Like what you about to do?
Right.
So I think it helps a lot when you mix up some of that estrogen, some of that testosterone, and I think a lot of guys could do a lot of things beneficial in the field for sure.
How do you see, like, say this is your perfect world, right? Say you was the president of Africa, you know what I mean? What would you like to be done to help evolve this like autism awareness and your practice, stuff like that? How would you like this to be distributed throughout the continent? And how would you see a perfect world in this?
There needs to be specific autism schools. That's what I'm trying to set up right now, and then that's the goal with the grant that I've got. I think if the government were to have specific schools for children with autism, it will help out a lot, because in these schools in Nairobi, they basically put the kids in the corner, lock them away, and then them. So if you have some compassionate people in a specific area, it will help a lot, because the TTs have a lot on their shoulders.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense, man. Love what you're doing, man. Like I said, you're helping people in like such a unique way as well too. That's like very, very, very powerful, man. You make a powerful difference in the continent. So I do want to dive in a little bit more into like what's going on in Kenya, like so we're gonna throw some fun stuff in there, man. We have like a round and we just talk about like some of your top things, right? So I might ask you like, whatever the topic is, you just let me know what that top thing is, okay? So what would you say is your top Kenyan dish?
I just had some dry fried fish. You know how they make it with the whole fish, they did everything. Like that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your top restaurant? You can tell I'm probably hungry right now.
Top restaurant. If you haven't checked out Mwimbi.
Yeah. I've been
my guy Troy does promo stuff. They have some really good seafood.
That's really dope, man. When I went out there, I took a date to Mwimbi one night, man. I think it was the Poseidon platter or something like that. Man, that joint was hitting. That joint was some good food. And I'm from the DMV. I'm from Maryland, so like I know good seafood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was really really good. So yeah, shout out to Mwimbi. Um, let's see. Top city in Kenya.
You have to give it to Nairobi.
Okay.
Really, honestly, Nairobi is the only city in Kenya to care about.
Yeah.
I've been to all of them, like Mombasa.
hmm I think it also depends on your vibe as well too, right? Because like
Yeah.
Nairobi has a little bit of everything. The only thing that I feel Nairobi is missing, Nairobi to me would be the perfect city on the planet if it had a beach. I'm just a water guy, you know what I mean? So like it makes up for it. It has the national park and the wildlife and stuff like that. Like that's amazing. Like I fell in love with that. But it's something about that just ocean water, man, brushing up against the sand, that breeze and stuff like that. Um, so what I mean, it's definitely a lot slower over there, though. I will say that it's super slow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see, top party or club in Kenya.
I just my homeboy, Kenyan dude, he just brought me to this like mansion that's like also a club,
Okay.
but you have to be invited here to go.
Oh, that's
You've never been in nothing like this.
right,
I guarantee you.
right.
So the entire backyard, people are cooking. They got like vendors.
Mm,
Mind you, this is a house.
right.
They got a DJ, like probably 500 people just dancing in the yard. And then you go inside the house, you go upstairs, in the room, the different situations going on. It's things
Yeah.
going on.
Right. This is the behind the
this
scenes talk. You know type of situation.
Yeah, this is in Erie, and my homeboy brought me.
hmm
Bro, my mom was on. I had some Java juice. I don't know if you ever had Java juice, but Java juice makes you a little bit wired.
Okay.
But yeah, it was probably the best time I ever had in Nairobi. I would say also I would probably try to avoid Milan if you're try to avoid places like Milan, the Ibizas. The reason I would say that is because like Milan, Ibiza,
hmm
80% of the women there are selling what they got.
Oh, for real?
And then it's like super expensive, like compared to every other club. So one of the local spots that I really like is probably I don't drink, but I go over there. I just like shoot pool and shisha hang out.
Oh, that's more like my vibe too. I kind of stopped drinking. Like it wasn't even intentional, but I did like a 90-day juice fast. I lost 78 pounds, and
Oh,
I just
wow.
kind of yeah. I'm still on my health journey, man. So I got a lot more way to go. But I stopped drinking in that process as well too. And now like I don't even like crave alcohol at all. So, but yeah, that sounds like a good vibe though. Some good pool, some shisha and stuff like that. That sounds like a vibe. What was the name of that spot again?
Cavalli.
Cavalli.
Yeah,
that's
and
good,
it's
man.
just like hella cheap food. They got some good food. It's like 80% women, 20%.
That's a great ratio. That's the right
The
type of ratio.
ratio is looking good.
The ratio is very important. Major key. Major key. Let's see, man. So how long have you actually been out in Kenya? How long you been out there?
So back and forth since 2022.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah.
So been coming back and forth since then. This is the longest I've stayed so far, though. I've been here for over 6 months now.
Okay.
So yeah, just back and forth since 2022.
Living the life, man. Living the life. What is something about Nairobi or Kenya in general that you that the public may not be aware of that you wish they knew? What's something that you would like for the common listeners, the people back home in America? What would you tell them about Kenya if it wasn't on their mind before?
I wish I could tell them that if you get over the fear of Africa, this would be the most free that you ever felt in your life.
A bar. Yeah. A bar. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Um, you're not capping. You're not capping, man. Um, okay. Let's see. Out of all the places that you travel, do you see yourself staying in Kenya like long term as well too? Is this like where you want to like to be at?
Yeah, so I've been to the Colombias and obviously the Mexico, Philippines, and all that. Those places were cool. It's just like, my whole family's from Barbados.
Okay.
So when I go to Barbados, it kind of feels like home, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Barbados isn't popping like Kenya,
Yeah.
and there's not as much opportunities. It's just something about the energy of Nairobi,
Yeah.
along with the black people, and along with how kind people are,
Yeah.
and then you mix that in with the affordability,
Mm-hmm.
the convenience.
Mm-hmm.
They got everything here but Amazon.
Right. You know, it was funny. That was gonna be my next question. Is like if there was one thing from the United States that you could bring to Kenya, what would it be?
That's it. Amazon.
Amazon, get that next day delivery.
Yeah, but like you could call the merchants and be like, "Hey, deliver this to me," and they do it. Like I get drugs or ADHD,
Yeah.
and they bring it to my house. Or if I want groceries, Uber Eats, boom, it's at my house.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like Amazon, man. Like you order everything on Amazon.
Yeah, super convenient. Yeah. And I kind of I agree with your sentiment, man. You know, I met up with a family out there, and this guy, he's from Philly, and he moved his wife, his children out there, and he was just telling me, he was like, yeah, man, we moved out here, we were eating more, we ended up all losing weight and getting healthier just by the food and the diet out there, and being closer to the equator, I guess. And then he said his kids, their school is actually really nice. They're learning like um, coding and riding horses and all kinds of stuff. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like if they only knew, like back home, that like I mean, the kids like actually want to go to school and learn. I mean, the kids in the United States, not so much. So right, what I mean. So it's a different type of environment. And then I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen this. It's probably big in Kenya, but I know there's a lot more people coming to Kenya. Kenya has a lot of attention now, for people coming to travel out there. People like yourself, a lot of like travel vloggers and stuff like that coming out there. You got some superstar like Khalees out there and doing what she's doing as well too. Bringing a lot of attention and stuff like that. What do you think about the attention that Kenya is getting now? Do you think that this is all good? There's some things that can be tweaked and be better to be represented. Like, what is your overall thoughts on like how Kenya is being viewed now in the West?
There was a guy named, I'm not gonna say his name, but there was a guy that came here and he did some disparaging things.
Okay,
He's a Black American.
I heard that.
So when he did that,
yeah,
people like me, and met up, like, man, we gotta get this dude up that factory.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of attention, but I hope that it stays underneath the radar for the bookies and the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them there.
Right.
Because what they don't realize is that nonsense that they do makes us all look like we do to Canadians.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. Like if you don't know how to if you don't know how to act, like, okay, what I tell my audience all the time is like whenever I go to a new country, I look at it as like I'm going to somebody's house. You know what I mean? For the first time. I'm not going to go into somebody's house and keep my shoes on, track dirt in there, jump on the sofa, break the TV, do kind of crazy stuff. I'm going to come in there. I'm going to respect this person's home because this is their home. You know what I mean? They have their rules. I'm going to respect their rules. You know what I mean? And you're absolutely right. When you have, certain people come in and act up like they've never been nowhere before, it is a bad look for everybody, and it's very unfortunate because clearly that's not how majority of people act. Majority black men or black Americans act when we leave the country and stuff like that. It's just one bad apple can spoil a bunch. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and so it's good on you guys for like kind of holding that meeting, trying to keep it accountable. It's like, how can we justify this? Because that's exactly what you got to do sometimes. You know what I mean? Not everybody can do this, and I think for the longest time too, it's I don't want to call it a blessing and a curse because I do think that traveling to Africa should be more affordable for more people to come. But unfortunately, the other side of it, because it isn't that affordable, it does also get that extra barrier of letting certain people come as well too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. We seen what happened to Dominican Republic. How easy and convenient it is to get down there, and I've seen people go down there and like go to the gas station, throw money all over the place, and then they end up getting robbed or wearing fancy jewelry and stuff like that. It's like, bro, like, what do you expect? Like, you can't do that stuff that you did in Atlanta, and,
yeah.
and come to these foreign countries and think it's the same. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, yeah, man. But no, that's actually a really, really yeah, really good point. Um, but before we wrap everything up, man, I just want to ask you like one message that you want to share to the diasporas watching. If there's like anything that you want to get out there, also let them know where they can find you, how they can help and support your mission and what you're doing in Kenya as well too. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, so they kind of let me come check out some videos. I was on the news last week here in Kenya, the KBC News and the National News Channel,
Okay.
and just kind of talk about, what we're talking about here.
Hmm.
How my goal is to basically just spread the message of ABA treatment for autism, and that just as a child has autism doesn't mean that they're lost or there's no hope. It's something that can be mitigated with the correct science and the correct passion and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what the organization about. That's what I kind of push when I talk to Kenyans. On YouTube, I talk about stuff that interests me, right? Like the horse races. I just bought this painting from a local Kenyan.
Okay. Oh, that's dope. That's a painting? Like from here, almost looks like an actual like photo, man. That joint is crazy.
Yeah, one.
That's dope, man.
So I go to these artists' different showings that they have. I love art. I went to a mansion. This lady I randomly met. She actually does fashion. So I went to a fashion show at her house. Just random stuff. I just love to explore and see the great sides of Kenya. I want to show people back in the States that they're wrong and that they're scary,
Yeah.
and that they allow fear to control them. Because I believe that if Black Americans knew who was here, a lot more of us would come. Yeah, the flight is, how much is it, like $1,500?
You catch it on the
It's
right
worth every penny.
catch it on the right day. I found mine for 800 round trip, man.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
If you get lucky, you know what I mean. But yeah, but yeah.
But like 1,500 or whatever it is.
Hmm.
I mean, you can go to the York, but you're not gonna feel like you're not gonna be wearing that bracelet that you got on.
Yes, sir. Tell me you've been to Kenya without saying you've been to Kenya. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's so much great things going on here, and there's so much great people.
For sure.
And like I said, I feel like as Black people, we've gotten to the point where if you go to a lot of Black channels, YouTubers, stuff. There's a lot of people complaining about stuff in America.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, like there's other things other than America.
Yeah.
There's other things other than Trump. There's other things other than food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, like there's a whole world we could be exploring.
Exactly.
But we focus on all this negativity. There's so much positivity and there's so much like to offer.
Absolutely.
So,
This world, man, is starting to become more global. You know what I mean? Like planes exist, the internet exists. Like you're in Nairobi right now. I'm over here in the DC area. We're able to have a conversation right now live with people listening and watching. This didn't exist 10 years ago. So,
yep.
you know, the more that stuff like this happens, the more the conversations that we have, the more you're doing your work, you showing what it's like out there. It's going to help more people continue to come. So man, keep doing what you're doing, man. Love it. Love to see it. And yeah, man, really greatly appreciate your time, brother. Like I know it's super late over there. I want to be respectful, let you get some rest. But thank you so much for joining the Top Hill Live. And oh yeah, and you already mentioned everywhere where they can find you, where they can follow you at as well too.
Yeah.
So everybody, Jay, the behavior analyst, round of applause again.
I love your movement, your channel, everything you're doing, the production. You know, I only been doing YouTube for 6 months, but I see what you're doing, and the production is great. The conversations is great. Even when you react to mine, I know like this is a great reaction.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You had some critique on me, and I love it. Like I want you to tell me what's going wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, and I always like to say I come with respect and love. You know what I mean? I'm not over here like just trying to like criticize people just to criticize people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I do it out of love, I do it out of respect. And yeah, man, I love to see, you know, brothers like you, sisters out there who are traveling the continent, giving back to the continent, helping people, building with each other and stuff like that. So yeah, man. Yeah, that's what we're all about, man. And like I said, thank you so much. My co-host wish she could be here. She sends her apologies as well too. But yeah, man. I will be returning back to Kenya. Hopefully, I'll catch you out there, man. And you know, we can get some shisha, catch a horse show or something like that, man.
Yeah, let me know about you some juice. You're not drinking stuff.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm on my juice craze for sure.
Also, shout out to my guy Austin and my guy Bobby. Chris Columbus is my guy Shaq.
Yeah,
the Chris Columbus of Kenya. You gotta give props to them, man.
Absolutely. I watch Austin and Bobby's channel as well too. They do really great work, like really professional work as well too. Austin is also definitely one of the main people that got me interested in coming to Kenya first, for sure. Like he was one of the first ones that I noticed out there as well too. I know there's a lot of people, but yeah, he does really great content as well too. So yeah, shout out to Austin, shout out to Bobby, and what was the other gentleman's name too? I don't want to.
Check in effect.
Oh yeah, check. Yeah. Check as well too, man. Shout out to Check. For sure, man. But yeah, Jay, thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No problem. Another round of applause for Jay, man. Have a good night. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Shout out to Jay, man. Y'all like that? Yeah, man. Well, you guys know we're definitely going to try to be doing a lot more connections, you know what I mean? A lot more conversations with people around the world, in the diaspora, people on the continent, you know what I mean? So if you guys are interested in coming on the show, talking about your experience, what you guys want to do, you know, hit me up for sure at Top Hill Live on Instagram, or email me at tophillpod@gmail.com. We'll love to speak with you, share your story, and yeah, man, so shout out to that. But everybody that's on the live, don't go nowhere yet, because we got a double header for you guys. We got another surprise for you guys, man. I already know my man down here ready, man. Joe, you ready, man? Yeah. All right, let's bring him up. Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah. We back.
Yeah, back.
My man Joe, what's going on, bro?
What's up, man? I'm happy to be back. It's been what, 3-4 months? I think the last time we saw was before I went to the motherland. So
It was
I'm back.
No, stop playing with me. It has not been 3 or 4 months yet. You're about to mess my whole brain up. Has it been that long?
Well, it's been at least 2 months. I've been back about 4 weeks, but I was on like the US tour. But prior to that, I was gone for a month.
Jesus, time just.
I was gone for all of September. October, we finished October and November now. So it's been at least 2 months.
Jesus Christ, my brain is
It's been a minute.
Hey, just locked in on the mission, man. But how are you, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Lots of great updates. So I'm happy. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not trying to call you the Carmen repellent, but Carmen is on her way. She's just late. she's excited to meet you. She said she's gonna be she's running late tonight. So let me see.
All right, cool. No problem. Listen. There's lots to talk about.
Yes.
I hit you up today. I went live earlier to talk about this. Okay, so the echo. Everybody else is hearing the echo too. I was hearing that earlier.
Oh man. All right, let me see.
So there is an echo.
Okay,
Hearing that earlier.
Oh man. All right, let me see. Check. All right, let me see. Let me try to get it right. Let me see.
Let's see if it still goes. Oh, there's the echo's still there.
Echo's still there. Okay.
Yeah. I see Jada in the building. It was an earlier live stream. Back to this one too. Shout out to Jada.
I got the echo cancellation on here. Let me see. Let me try. And so do you. Maybe it's this. Check. How about now?
You're not echoing. Oh, neither am I. Echo's gone.
Echo's gone? Okay.
Echo's gone.
Okay. Cool.
All right, nice. There it is.
Yeah, man. We still learning this this new setup, man. But we get into it.
I know.
Okay, Joe.
Yes.
You've been around the world, man. You've been doing a lot of stuff, man. Go ahead, fill us in, man. What's been going on in your world, bro?
Yeah, so last time we talked, I was planning my trip to Sierra Leone and Ghana. As my audience knows, and I'm streaming on my platforms too. Your audience may not be aware. I run a platform called Authentic African. The goal of the platform is to get people to do one of three things: visit, move, and invest on the continent of Africa. I myself lived in Africa for 4 years up until last year, a little over 2.5 years in Ghana, a little over a year in Sierra Leone. My family's from Sierra Leone. And so I'm building a house in Sierra Leone, have 5 acres, and I also have another plot of land. So I have 3 pieces of land in Sierra Leone, and I do a lot of content in Ghana, learning about why people moved, and also encouraging other people to make some similar decisions. I guess I should mention, I worked in Ghana for over a year, working for a company locally there. I also worked for a US-based company while I was there. So I have that experience doing all of that. So just for those who aren't familiar with me, just that real quick background. So since I've been going back and forth to Ghana since the end of 2020, I started a YouTube channel just doing all of those things, right? And so I shot 23 videos in a little over 2 weeks that I was in Ghana, and I shot a couple videos in Sierra Leone. I think I might have told you this when we met at the Invest Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to meet the guys who are building Sambra City in Ghana, the Earn Your Leisure guys. So I didn't meet Troy and the other gentleman from Earn Your Leisure, but I did meet Kwame, who's their partner on the ground in Ghana, and I did do a tour. So I got a chance to do the tour of Sambra City. So you guys will get a chance to see that video. I met with a ton of other people, a lot of Airbnbs that I shot, which, I have an Airbnb competitor, so people can book through me instead of booking with the non-indigenous Africans who have other platforms. So, I do have, curated Airbnbs, mostly in Ghana right now. I got 9 of them there. So I can share the link later. But yeah, man, I shot a lot of content. It was a really interesting experience. A lot of interviews with folks. I interviewed people who've recently moved to Ghana, people who are helping other people move to Ghana. I interviewed people who have multinational businesses. I did tours of businesses. So there's a lot coming. I mean, 23 videos is a lot. So that's going to take me into January of next year. I got a lot of content coming, and it's helpful for those who are thinking about making the move. My story might be interesting to you, but there may be other people's stories that might be more relatable. So I have single women who I've interviewed, single guys who I've interviewed, parents, married couples, people without children that are married. So all these different people I have talked to, so you can see yourself reflected in their stories if you're making the decision on whether or not you want to move, visit, or invest on the continent of Africa. So yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Man, hold up, man. Round of applause. Let me see. Y'all you hear me?
Appreciate that.
Yeah, man. My man's been putting in that work. You hear me? Yeah. That's incredible, man. I'm so looking forward to checking out all that content that you created. Shout out to the people at Somber City too. I know you mentioned with Kwame. Kwame's a dope dude, man. Really good dude.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing that for sure. Yeah, man. There's a lot of amazing things happening on the continent, and like right now, guys, like right now is the time. This is like it's like a renaissance. It's like they're trying to like keep it as like under wraps and hidden as possible from like like from us particularly, but they know. They are going over there, they're investing, they're putting their money there, they're doing it right now while everything is so affordable, while everybody's so scared and everything like that. Like there's no mistake of why Trump doing deals with Congo and Ghana, and like there's so many things happening, man. There's just so many things. It's hard to keep up. I encourage everybody, just like on my brother Joe channel as well too, to visit. And once you're done visiting, you probably gonna want to move.
Yeah.
And then invest for sure, man. I've been to the continent 3 times, working on number 4, and I'm already like ready to move. Like it's once you get that experience of actually being in a country, an entire country that's predominantly looks like you, own things, looks like you, all that kind of stuff. You have a different set of like comfortability. It's really, really hard to explain. Like, especially somebody like me who's born in America, like I never even thought of this process because, majority of the presidents are white or owners are white and all this kind of stuff. You don't really think about it too much, but then when you go over to somewhere else, it's like, wait a minute, there's no racism barrier. There's no that doesn't exist. It's just what I mean. Matter of fact, these people want me here and treated me nice and want to collaborate. And it's just like, well, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, why don't we just all just go over there? But what I mean, you can't take everybody. What I mean?
Can't take everyone.
Can't take everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say too, to that point that you were making, that it's it's like you can get in before the ground floor. They say you want to get in on an industry like at the ground floor.
Yeah.
Guys, like think about this. Anything that the masses know about, it's already too late, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about crypto, whatever it is, right? Like Bitcoin, for example, right? People who found out about Bitcoin in 2011 were way early. Might have been too early, but if they held on to like 5 coins, that's $500,000 at some point in time in the past 5 years. Right. People who've gotten involved in certain stocks, right? Early on. Tesla stock. I bought Tesla stock in 2015. When maybe it was 2016.
If you had Nvidia.
If you had Nvidia, right? I mean, so it's the same thing with the continent of Africa. And I'm not saying this for you to make uneducated and ill-informed or just emotional decisions, because just like with those kinds of stocks and crypto and all those other things, you got to do your research and you got to figure out what makes sense for you and what kind of investment you want to make. but at the very least, you should be visiting the continent of Africa. Those of you who are doing these Tulum trips, you know what I mean? You guys want to go to Tulum or you want to go to Cancun. Okay, cool, fine, do that. But maybe you should consider investment trips that are going to not only take money out of your pocket, but eventually help you maybe potentially build wealth. So I definitely recommend for a milestone birthday, those of you who are turning 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, make your milestone birthday on the continent. Bring some friends with you. Don't just go and stay on a resort. Don't just go do a safari. You know, you should go and look at real estate. See what the prices are, you know, because there is no better time than the present to start looking into these things. And you should be diversifying your assets outside of the United States. There is going to be a time where there's going to be larger mass exoduses of the United States, and you should be perfectly positioned to rent or to sell property to people who are making those moves. So just something to think about. You know, I say that to people all the time, especially when I'm on other people's platforms, because I say it all the time, but I cannot emphasize enough that you're at the perfect place to hear this message right now. But you also need to do some due diligence. It's not going to be a first trip. You're going to make a financial decision. I do not make any decisions on emotion. You should definitely take at least a trip, maybe a couple of trips before you make any decisions, but you should definitely be looking into that. So I wanted to say all that because I do think it's important that people know you should make informed decisions, but you should be making a decision for sure.
Absolutely. And just to second that, man, let me show you this. If you guys haven't seen stuff like this already, if you don't take anything else from what we say, follow what the rich and the wealthy are doing. Like, we're not just talking out of our asses here. There's a reason why the wealthiest people in the world, the wealthiest Americans, are turning to getting second passports to protect their wealth. People are realizing that the world, it's a world stage now. It's no longer a country stage anymore. I was just talking about the interview that I just did. I just had an interview with somebody who was in Nairobi, Kenya. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in the DC area. It's 9 p.m. over here. It's 5 a.m. over there, but we still hopped on a call to have a conversation, stuff like that. We're just a click away to communicate and do business and invest and talk and strategize and all this stuff. Everybody's doing it at scale. You know what I mean? The wealthy people are doing it. So yes, man, travel with intention. Like Joe said, travel with intention, man. Because now, Joe, what about, I mean, you telling people to travel to Africa, man, and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. Is it dangerous over there? Do they speak English, and do they have an internet and electricity? Like, I don't know, man. What should I do? What's the first thing to do?
Yeah, you know, I would say these were all questions that people actually said to me when it was time for me to first start going. Because, you know, my first trip was, as an adult, was 2010. And then I started going back more regularly 2017 through today. And people used to say that to me all the time, like, Africa. And it'd be your own people sometimes, you know? And so
majority
yeah. Right. And the thing is, the funny thing that I noticed is that, you know, when you hear, okay, so the United States has a mass shooting every week, right? It is a big country, 50 states, 48 contiguous, right, as we all know, and a couple of territories. Much of the massive violence in the United States is centered in certain areas, right? Now, everyone should be concerned when
we had over 368 mass shootings so far, just to let you know.
This year?
This year. So 368 mass shootings reported in 2025 as of November 3rd.
That's as of November 3rd. And so that's obviously one or more person being shot, right? So now think about that, right? There are no orange or red alerts about coming to America. Right? Nobody is told don't come to America, because America has done a great job with PR, right? And displaying its best parts. There are many parts of the United States that are dangerous. Just every rapper will tell you their city is the most dangerous, right? They even equate it to different terrorist groups, right? They, you know, people used to call Chicago Chirac,
Right.
you know. I remember
DC
people
was the
calling
murder capital.
New Orleans the murder capital, right? So, right, these are things. Baton Rouge was called the murder capital at one point in time too. So you got to know where you can go and where you can't go. That's number one. So, and by the way, when we're talking about the violence that happens, it generally happens in specific regions in very large countries. So you can even go to that country and never encounter any of it. Just like people come to the United States all the time. They go to see the Statue of Liberty. They go to the Empire State Building. They walk around Times Square. They go home and they're like, everybody talks about America being so violent. I don't know why I didn't see it. Well, that's because they didn't go to the areas where it happens. That's the same thing with the continent of Africa.
Right.
Do you know there are at least 5 countries, and I don't even know what the total number is, that are ranked higher on the Global Peace Index than the United States on the continent of Africa, right? So just know that.
Right.
You know, look, petty theft and crime happens in any underprivileged neighborhood and area. So those things are things that can happen. They generally do happen to people who are familiar with the individual or people who don't operate with any serious mindset. Like, I don't care where you are in the world. I do not walk down a dark street at 1 a.m.
Right.
I don't care where I am. I'm not doing that. So just, you know, use your minds, use your brains. But generally, the places that people tell you to visit are all safer than probably your own backyard. So that's number one. Number two, yes, there are certain countries that have electricity problems. There are certain countries that have water problems. And so whenever you're going, you just curate the experience to ensure that that doesn't happen, right? So if you're staying in a hotel, most of the time hotels don't have that issue. If you're staying in an Airbnb, you just want to make sure the Airbnb has a generator or solar. These are all things that you can do research on. The internet's right there at your fingertips that before you go. So all of that can be prevented if you're worried about it. And so, and by the way, you don't drink the water when you go to Tulum, right? You're not drinking tap water when you're going to Tulum. You're not drinking tap water when you're going to Brazil. I don't even drink tap water when I go to Europe. So, you know, I think if you're worried about things like that, then you should be worried about them in many places. I don't drink tap water in New York City. Let's put it that way, right? So, you know, or as much as possible, I don't. Maybe if I go to a restaurant and they give you water, that's what you get. But in general, just so all the things that people fear about the continent, they should be fearing about their own homes if that's a fear that they actually have. Use your brain, choose wisely, and make sure you curate your experience. And that all can be done with a simple Google search.
And not only that too, man, instead of complaining about the problems and stuff like that you see when you do go there, be a part of the solution. You know what I mean? Like when there's a problem, that's an opportunity. You know what I mean? I remember hearing a story about a gentleman who, when they first went to Afrofuture or Afrochella back when it first was called that back in 2019 in Year of Return, they noticed like, man, you know, there's so many people here and you know what I mean? But there's no bathrooms, not enough bathrooms for people, stuff like that. Man created his own porta potty company, and then instantly became a millionaire. Just simple things of like that we can literally copy and paste. You don't have to reinvent the wheel from you know America or EU or whatever, and then you could bring it back to the continent and be like, yeah, hey, you guys need this. This is how you help. Blah 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 blah. Boom. Now you don't have to just complain all the time. You can actually contribute and help. You know what I mean? And yeah, so this is another example, man. So
100%. Yeah, as you said, man, what some people consider challenges, other people see as opportunities. And so, you know, where you see some challenges and, you know, you need to make some trips back and forth a few times to wherever your country of choice is. But if you see a challenge, there's likely a solution that can be derived and can generate some income for you. Because no country has ever been built off of just the government's intervention. That does require private sector work. Absolutely. And so those of you who are entrepreneurial minded, the continent of Africa is ripe with opportunity. So just think about that, right? Again, don't make any emotional decisions on your first trip. Make sure you learn about the market first, like you would anywhere else. But just know that the idea that you have may or may not have been done. And even if it has been done, it may not be done at the level that you can do it. Or you can also be another alternative to that particular solution that's needed. So yes, every challenge is an opportunity, and the continent is ripe with opportunity for sure.
So much opportunity, it don't make no sense, man. And the thing is too that these people, they're our family. Like they're like literally our blood family, like literally. And you know, from all the countries that I've been to, they've been extremely welcoming, and they want us back there, and we should want to go back there as well too. You know what I mean? The Western propaganda has fought long and hard for years to separate us, to tell lies about us, to tell, like, it took me to go to Ghana and go to the Cape Coast Castle, and my tour guide there, it kills me that I forget this brother's name every single time, but he was so extremely knowledgeable about not only what happened in the transatlantic slave trade, but also following up what happened in Black American history. He said, hey, I know not only just about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, I know about Marcus Garvey, I know about Thurgood Marshall, I know about this. Like, he was very, very knowledgeable. And then he gave me a gem. He was like, hey, did you know that these tribes tried to fight to get you guys out? We killed this amount of generals, we killed this general, we did this, we did that. I was like, it took me to come back to Africa for me to learn that you guys tried. That's not even something that's even taught to us in the States. That, like, there was resistance. You know what I mean? It was just this happened. Y'all sold yourselves into slavery too, and now y'all here. You know what I mean? Like, but that's you know, it's their history. You know what I mean? It's not our history. The people who quote unquote won are able to tell their story. You know what I mean? But it was beautiful. It was beautiful that I was able to go back to the continent, go back to that door that says the door of no return, and look at it and be like, fuck you, I did return. You know what I mean? Like, and then connect with the brothers and sisters back on the continent, man. So I really do try my best to like push this message out there, because it's true what you guys see and what you guys hear. When people go back, they feel a sense of being at home. They feel a sense of being at peace. You're not just a Black person in this country. You're a person in this country. You know what I mean? And insert your country here, whether it's Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, you know, whatever you choose. And there's plenty of different options. You know what I mean? Like, Africa is not a monolith. It's a wide landscape of 54 different countries, hundreds of different languages and cultures. Literally, take your pick. We started learning about Zambia and Botswana and Zimbabwe and stuff like that, and just learning more about that. I was like, man, Namibia, looking at all these other countries too, and just like, man, this is beautiful as well too. Like, I seen some stuff about Zambia, like in shout out to all the Zambians too. They just bombarded our page not that long ago, just showing us so much love and stuff like that. And I was looking at like how nice they are, how peaceful it is out there, how beautiful it is out there, and they speak English. You know what I mean? That's a plus for people, but you know, but yeah, man. So there's a lot of places to check out and see. There's a lot of opportunities. So, you know, yeah, man. This is why we're here.
Yeah. Yeah, and you just mentioned they speak English. One of the things that you had mentioned earlier about what people's you know, fears are for going to the continent. You know, look, the British and the French took over lots of land mass, and so most countries on the continent share English as a common language amongst the different tribes, and most countries, most people do speak English. In the Anglophone countries, obviously there are Francophone countries where most of them speak French. And so just know that if, depending on what country you choose, you can go and either speak French or English, but there is a European language that you might be more knowledgeable about or have as part of your you know, the languages that you speak, that you can speak there. So, you know, absolutely, you know, you'll go places where some people don't speak English. But most of the places that you go, people speak English. English is, for better or for worse, the common language around the world for doing business outside of your home country.
Right.
Every country that does business with another country does that business in the language of English most of the time, right? That's the common language. And the Brits and the Americans have done a crazy job of making that over the last 200 years, the common language spoken by people who are operating between two different countries that speak different languages. English is the common language. So yes, people speak English on the continent of Africa. Most people are required to learn it in school, right? So you'll find that many people speak English better than we do.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I noticed in Nigeria for sure, and in Ghana.
And in Kenya too. I was just like, y'all speak proper English over here. Like y'all got that good, y'all got that good British accent. You know what I mean? But yeah, we just talk all kind of slang word over here. Yeah. But even the language shouldn't even be a barrier either, right? Because I mean, let's face it. Like I make fun of ourselves all the time. Like if you're American, we're like really one of the only nations. Like we're so arrogant, we only speak one language, really.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're not coming from a Latin background, then most likely you only speak English. You know what I mean? Because you felt like that's the only language you need to speak. But majority of other countries and stuff like that speak multiple languages. And on top of that, you don't have a problem traveling to Puerto Rico and Colombia and the DR and stuff like that where they speak Spanish.
Right.
You have no problem going over there. You know what I mean? So to me, this is kind of how I strategize this too. Like, you know, with my travels to Africa, like I did want to hit some of the main English speaking ones first, but then I want to cross over and go to the French speaking ones too, because I got to go see that beautiful African Renaissance monument in Senegal. I got to go see that new statue that they just put up in Benin, the Dahomey warrior. You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's a large portion of West Africa as well too that, you know, French speaking, but you know, Cote d'Ivoire. You know, this Sierra Leone. Well, Sierra Leone's English, but
English, yeah.
You know, but yeah, I don't want to like be just limited to like you know that. You know what I mean? To still explore. So. But yeah, man, it's a great conversation, man. But you know, we gotta get into some reactions as well, too, man.
Of course, as always.
I gotta pull some reactions up. Let me see. Carmen just messaged me too. She said she won't be here till like 10. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm here. Hey, as long as we're live, I'm here.
Okay, so. Bet. It's a party then. It's a party.
Well, while you pull that up, let me say to everybody who's watching, right? So, I don't usually do this in the middle of a live stream, but those of you who are watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. It is hard to understand what it takes to do it from this side of the camera. It is all passion that guides what we do. Okay,
and no pay.
It is all passion.
Let them know, and no pay.
He's not even at home right now. You know, he leaves his house to do this live stream, and he goes home after this live stream is over. It's 9:35. So I just want you guys to know that I'm in my bedroom. So I'm at home. I'm at my desk. But you know, I want you guys to know that because you know, what we're doing here is based on our passion for the continent. And so those of us who visited and have lived there, that's what you're getting. That's what's coming through on camera. But just know that it requires a lot of work that you do not see behind the scenes, you know, to make this happen. There's financial investments, there's time commitments and investments. There are days we don't want to get up and do this, but if it's on the schedule, we got to do it. Man. And so help support the channel because we're not doing any foolishness. You know, we're not doing any prank videos.
Right.
We are reacting to people who look like us, who have made the move or who are visiting the continent of Africa, and we're sharing our thoughts. So we, you know, all of you who can support, please support by commenting, and sharing the content because it does help it go a long way and ensures this gets in front of the right people. Because the platform doesn't incentivize us to do this. It incentivizes us to do other things that we choose not to do. Exactly. Right. So I just had to put that out there while you were pulling up those stories.
Oh no, you just speaking God's is good. God's good message right there, man. I appreciate you for putting it out there because Lord knows it's the truth, man. I drive an hour and a half every Monday one way just to come down here to the studio. And shout out to Studio Wayside, by the way, as well too, man. He's gracious enough to let me use the studio. He be behind the scenes, but he supports the mission so much. That's why he comes. He allows me to come in here and use the studio to get this message out there as well too. And then shout out to Carmen as well too. Carmen being here with me all the time as well too. So yeah, man. All the Top Hill people, if you guys haven't already, go over to Authentic African, follow, and subscribe to his channel as well. Yeah, man, this is group economics. This is collaboration right here, man. This is exactly what we should be doing,
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna start off with something light. There's something I want to get into, Joe, as well too. You can let me know because I got a couple of things lined up here tonight. We're gonna be jumping around the continent tonight. Okay, some episodes we stick kind of like to one, and then some I just be like, I'm with
it.
All right, so let's go to Kenya first.
Okay.
Got my Kenyan bracelet on. Shout out to all the Kenyans. You know what I mean? I'm already feeling that post-traumatic travel depression kicking in. Can't wait to get back. All right.
I have a friend in Kenya right now, actually.
Yeah.
She's been there for 3 months.
3 months. Yeah, see, look, when you get to Kenya, you like, how do I stay? How do I find a way? Like that 1 week trip ends up a month, now you look at the investment properties. But yeah, man, Kenya's just such a beautiful country. It has literally everything. Nairobi having literally everything you can want out of a city, and then you have the coast, which is just some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. The Diani Beach, white sand, blue water. I mean, yeah, man. Shout out to Kenya. All right. This is actually coming from Web Nation Africa. Shout out to Web Nation Africa. They do some really good.
Captain Hayford.
Yeah, man. He doing some really good interviews.
He's been on mine, so I'm very familiar with him. Yeah. When I lived in Ghana, we met up. I can't remember how we got in contact with each other. I think he saw my YouTube videos and he reached out to me. I mean, this is 2023, 2022 when I met up with him. But yeah, Hayford is good people, man, and I like to see his growth, what he's been able to do with the channel. He went to college in China.
Oh wow! Okay.
He's a Ghanaian. He went to college in China. He met Wode Maya there, actually.
Okay.
And then he moved back to Ghana, and built this YouTube platform, the Web Nation Africa platform. And and he's like a seriously professional platform. He's the first person I met that had a videographer who shot the content, people who working with them. He actually had a Black American who moved to Ghana, who was working with them. So yeah, really dope guy and really interesting. So I'm interested to see this clip. I know Captain Hayford very well.
Man. And like I said, I've been paying attention to his channel for a while now, and like you said, his growth has been incredible. He's been doing some really good like interview styles of people who moved to the continent and stuff like that. So this is one that actually dropped pretty recently. I left the United States rat race. Now I wake up to this view in Kenya. All right. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it. Oh, and also let me know about the audio as well, too. Just double check.
The audio is not playing.
No audio playing?
No audio.
Oh, whoops. This is probably why. How about now?
Let's see.
Something that I was interested in doing. I ended up.
All right, cool. I'm sorry from the top.
Yeah.
I was inspired to move abroad because it was always something that I was interested in doing. I ended up joining the United States Navy At the age of 17, I left home. I went to Navy boot camp. I turned 18 in boot camp. And a year later, I was living in Italy. I was very grateful for the opportunities that was afforded to me. And that's when my living abroad journey and travel journey started. I was exposed to a whole world that I didn't even know existed. At the age of 18, I lived abroad for 3 years before going back to the United States. And when I lived in the United States again, something didn't feel right. I was a different person. And that's when I realized that I wanted to move abroad again. I wanted to travel again because that's what my passion had became. So I moved abroad again in 2019, and I have been living outside of the United States for about 6 years straight. Hello everyone, my name is Rochelle. I was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am African American, living in Nairobi, Kenya.
Also, too, Joe, just let me know too if you ever want me to pause and if you want to give any commentary to stuff as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happens though is once I talk, the echoes back so that you can hear the sound videos.
Got you. So okay, so I know what to do now. So there should be there's no echo now. So when we pause,
no echo now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But yeah, man. Shout out to Rochelle, man. She's very well traveled. You know what I mean? Yep. Which is really dope. So she said she.
Can I just? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Can I just say, like, I haven't seen one of Hayford's videos in a long time, and he definitely this is documentary style.
Exactly.
Like, this looks like it could go on TV, right? I mean, all the B-roll of her at the mall walking and using the audio of her sitting down, and then her sitting down and wherever she is. I guess that's in her apartment with that background. Like, yeah, he knows what he's doing. Shout out to Hayford. Shout out to Hayford and what he's been able to do with this platform. This is top notch. It got me thinking. I need to start thinking about my content now when I'm shooting content. But yeah, I like that he has her background here too. You know, raised by a single father, a former military man. So that probably was some of her, her experience in going into the military. And I'll mention that, it's interesting, right? I meet a lot of people, former military, who do live on the continent.
Yep.
And absolutely. I see two things with that. One, because you're patriotic when you join the military. Many people are anyway, and you would think that means that people would only see America as the only place to be. Right? But sometimes, while representing America elsewhere, you sometimes see another lifestyle, another world that might seem interesting to you. And I think it opens up your worldview. It changes the way you see the world and how you see specific situations. And so I think it's interesting that she turned 18 in basic training. And then, years later, she decided to move to Kenya. So I'm interested to hear her story. I think this is a really interesting story. So let's see it.
Absolutely. And not to get too political too, but just to double back on that point, if you hear stories about Vietnam vets, they talk about like how they were treated when they were over there. It's like, man, I'm being treated better over here than I am back in my home country. And a lot of them end up marrying Vietnamese women or staying over there and stuff like that because it was for the first time, post-slavery and post, Jim Crow and stuff like that in the United States, that they saw a different view of the world. It's like, wow, I'm not being treated a certain way just because of the way I look like over here. They treated me with respect over here. So the military has that opportunity to travel and see the world in a different lens. So yeah, good for her, man. All right, let me bring this back.
Welcome to my home.
That nice right there.
I live in Nairobi, Kenya here, in an area called Siyoki Mall, which is actually about a 30-minute drive outside of the city. I am currently living in a 4-bedroom, 4-bath luxury apartment here in Siyoki Mall with a view of the national park. Fun fact, Nairobi is the only city in the world that has a national park inside of the city.
No, stop right there. What you mean that you could just wake up, look out your window, and see like the big five? You can just see lions and elephants and gazelles some days and stuff like that. That's insane. Like, absolutely. For anybody who's not familiar with Kenya, like she mentioned, it's the only city that has a national park like inside the city limits. So like, it's such a crazy contrast. I had the privilege of being able to go to the national park, and that was my first time ever going on a game drive and seeing these animals in the natural habitat, stuff like that. And it's just mind blowing to see a giraffe eating some fruit and then see the skyline of Nairobi in the background. It's just like, bro, just mind blowing. Very, very beautiful.
That's wild. Can I ask something? Did
Yeah.
we hear what her career is? Because
I don't think we heard yet.
all right, because I'm
probably will get
wondering
back
what does
to
she do for a living? Because I mean, she's living that life, luxury building. She's not playing when she said luxury building. And first of all, look behind that TV right there.
Yeah, man.
You know, so
Yeah.
you see, and the view that she has. Okay, so I guess we'll get to that, but very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice
absolutely.
apartments.
So I really thoroughly enjoy this view of the national park. I've been living here for less than a year, so I've been decorating slowly but surely. This couch is custom made. My coffee table is custom made, as well as my dining set. I got this specially selected, and they came in and installed the TV stand with this beautiful golden background as well. And I have thoroughly enjoyed decorating this apartment. This is actually the first apartment that I have leased and decorated in about 6 years. So I really have been enjoying this process of buying plants, building custom furniture, and just slowly but surely making this apartment a home. One thing that I've enjoyed about living in this apartment is the fact that I've been able to have a little bit of a kitchen garden. I have tomatoes growing, passion fruit, herbs, basil, cilantro, even collard greens, garlic, all sorts of things, because I have always had a passion for gardening and plants. I would like to own a farm one day, but for now I just have a small garden.
So you can go ahead and talk to Khalees, man. she right up the street. Go ahead and talk to Khalees.
Right.
Man. That's amazing right there, though. Like ever since I don't know if I told you this, but I did a juice fast. So like I 90 days of just doing juice, but that like made me appreciate plants and growing my own food. Like I've been trying to like grow my own strawberries and stuff like that too. Like you just have a special connection when you actually grow your own food and stuff like that. It brings so much life into your space. So it's amazing that she's doing that here too.
Absolutely.
On my balcony here in my apartment. One thing that I love about my apartment is the view of the national park. I get the opportunity to see giraffes, baboons, rhinos, antelope. I swear one time I even saw a lion. So I am just very grateful. And my favorite part about my balcony is the sunset that I get to see every evening. The sunsets are breathtaking and it just makes it all worth it. So as I said earlier, I love plants, so I was going for like an elevated boho look, a luxury boho look. So the plants I think adds a nice touch, and I also have gold accents to kind of make it a little bit more elevated. One thing that I love about my kitchen is that it comes with a sliding door, which I had never seen before, and I think it's just such a unique feature. I also have a second balcony that overlooks my complex, so I can see the kids playing and I can hear the kids playing all day, which I really love. I can see the park. I have a full view of the neighborhood, and so that's always an amazing touch as well. Here is my second balcony.
New balcony.
I have an amazing view of the park and of the neighborhood here, and I'm also growing collard greens, garlic, and a lot of different herbs here as well. Here in Kenya, sometimes your employees can live in the apartments with you in what is known as just the private quarters. So I do have a house manager living with me, and her room is private. So it is 4-bedroom, 4-bath, but we're going to show you the other 3 bedrooms here. So here is the guest bathroom, and it is just a full bathroom that we mainly use for cleaning purposes and for guests, of course. And I also have my office, which I do my makeup here, I record here, and hopefully I am looking to build a podcast studio in here as well and make it a whole creative studio. Going on to the second bedroom, it is not decorated. It's a bit anticlimactic, but I'm hoping to decorate this within the next few months as well. But this is just a 1 bedroom with an attached bathroom. Last but certainly not least, we have my bedroom here, and I have some of my favorite plants. I wanted to feel alive and fresh, so I wanted to implement as many plants as I possibly could. And I also got this bed, dresser, and vanity set custom made here in Kenya. I love the emerald green and the gold accents. And I also have a full view of the national park and sunsets as well, which I'm just so grateful for. And here I have my full bathroom, which this is the largest bathroom that I have had in Kenya. I've been in some very small showers, some very small bathrooms. So one of the reasons why I chose this apartment and I love this apartment is because the bathroom is even spacious.
Yeah, let's
I
get
was
to
running
it.
towards a job opportunity. Being a medical assistant abroad was a very unique experience. But even after I left that job and I started working for myself, I wanted to move abroad again because I was looking for peace. I was looking for a place to call home that really felt like home. The United States never really felt like home for me, and I knew that there was such a big world out there for me to discover. So I wasn't really running from anything, but I was running towards peace and joy and happiness, and that's what I found over the last 13 years.
I'm just gonna say this, man. This I think is why it's like so important to like expose your children to travel. You
Oh, yeah.
know, like I think that's such like a underrated or not spoke about enough like thing to provide, because I tell people this all the time, like as soon as you start to travel outside the country, it's like it unlocks something in your brain that you really can't explain until you actually do it. I remember the first time me leaving the country, what it just changed my whole perspective on life, and
Mhm.
um it just got me more curious. I mean, like, oh, I want to see more. I want to see more. And then the more I went, the more I learned. But um, kudos to her, man. But just that exposure, like, when that one day when I do get blessed to have children and stuff like that, like, I will absolutely be, taking them around the world, traveling with them, letting them
Mhm.
know, bringing them to Africa, let them know, like, hey, this is your ancestral homeland. You know what I mean? It's not huts. It's not just huts. You know what I mean? There's a beautiful culture and beautiful history and so much to learn and so much opportunity and beautiful luxuries as well too. Like, look at her freaking apartment is amazing. Like,
Sure is.
absolutely stunning, man. So yeah.
I chose Kenya because I felt like Nairobi was a well-rounded metropolis that I genuinely enjoyed. I have visited Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban. I love South Africa, and I was considering South Africa as well. But I just felt a sense of peace and safety in Nairobi that I hadn't quite experienced after visiting 16 African countries. And like
Mm,
I said, I feel like it's well-rounded. It has the safety, the friendliness, the somewhat affordable cost of living. And I do love West Africa. I have not traveled yet. I will be traveling this year, and I do want to immerse in West Africa as well. I just have not been yet. And I wanted to move, since it was such a big move, I wanted to move to a city that I had already visited before. And I had visited Nairobi, a few months before moving here.
A real quick point.
yeah.
What she just said there was super important.
Yeah.
I wanted to move to somewhere I had visited before.
Yeah.
So she had been to Nairobi. She's been to 16 countries. She'd visited Nairobi, and she selected Nairobi as a country she wanted to live in. She didn't choose Ghana because she hadn't been to Ghana. I think that's super important. So for those of you, when we were talking about it before, when you're making your decision, if you want to move, visit, whatever, it was specifically move. Just make sure you've been to the country before, and make sure you've been to the continent at least more than once. So you have an idea of, the different climates,
Mhm.
because also, Nairobi gets cold or gets colder than other parts of specifically West Africa, right?
Yeah.
And so these are things that you need to know, right? If you're going to be moving somewhere, don't just think that all of Africa is going to be like a tropical environment, because there are extremes, right? On either
Absolutely.
end, right? The prime meridian is in Accra, Ghana, but like if you go further north, or you go further south, you can find it to be a much different environment than the tropical areas that you normally see, specifically in West Africa. So yeah, I'm glad she mentioned that, because I think it's really important that everyone thinks about that when they're thinking about making a move. At least visit first a few times. 16 countries she's been to before she
Absolutely.
moved.
Yeah, and I find it's actually very interesting. The fact that she's been to 16 African countries and not explore West Africa, that's very rare. Because normally most people's entry
Yep.
point would be a Ghana,
Yep.
especially if you're American and stuff like that. So that's very interesting that, she hasn't been to Ghana yet. But you know, I think they all have beauties, right? Like, I don't think one is better than the other. I think just everybody has something that works best for them. You know what I mean? Some people,
Right.
my experience, like, okay, I'm more of a West African person, I'm more of an East African person, or a Southern African person. Like, there's clearly expats and people in every single one of these regions. You just, like you mentioned, explore for yourself and figure out which one works best for you. You know?
There it is.
Yes, so I'm very fortunate to be able to work online. I'm grateful to be an entrepreneur. I have two companies, my travel brand For the Culture and also my Pixel digital marketing agency. So my day starts with me waking up at
There
about
we go. That's
6.
the money
I
right
have a
there.
personal trainer. I work out at 7. I also have class. I'm learning French and guitar. So I have about a class every morning learning one of the hobbies that I'm currently learning because I just try to keep myself busy with hobbies. And then after that, I start working on my company as an entrepreneur. My expenditures monthly, I do have 2 employees currently. I also have a house manager who lives with me and manages the house, cleans. She helps take care of my dog, cooking, etc.
Wow.
And currently I am living in a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom house.
How much that cost? Kenyans. Kenyans. How much does a house manager cost? That's what I'm talking about, man. Like, let's talk about it. Like, if you work your butt off, right, to be able to give yourself a good, healthy living and stuff like that. Imagine the cost of what this would be like in the United States. You know what I mean?
Right. 4-bedroom, 4-bath.
4-bedroom, 4-bath, prime real estate. We're talking
2 balconies.
2 balconies. You see that kitchen? I've never seen anything like that before in my life either. I'm like, and she's an amazing decorator, first of all, too. Like, if I move to Kenya, I might need your help with decorating my place because she's done an incredible job. But yeah, and she got a poodle. That poodle, that ain't no cheap dog. Okay, that's not a cheap dog either. You know what I mean? But she's able to build the life that she wants to live in Africa, in Kenya. You know what I mean? That's absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal, man. I'm happy for her. I'm just like she's a cousin of mine, or something like that. I'm just so proud of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look, she has 2 businesses that she's running, right? One's a digital marketing agency, and the other one is her social media business. I'm interested to see, like I don't know if he asked her that question, but like because my questions are usually around like who your customers are, who your clients are, how does it work. So that's something I'll go check out. But it's always interesting to me, For the Culture clothing or For the Culture. That's probably her right there, right? No, that's a magazine.
It's hip hop.
I don't know. For the Culture. I think it's the second one. Because I think it's just For the Culture, right?
Right. Oh no,
is that her?
No, this is young.
It's definitely not. That's
not
her. That's
let me see, man. Because she did put her ad on there. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Yeah, and it had her. It had it on screen.
Here she go. All right, so this is her IG.
All right, so there's probably a link to like their business there. Oh, she's gonna be working on the Journey to Eden. That's what's up. So that's Kia Wakesho Simmons, Traverse Culture. And that's all like around potentially moving to Ghana. So she's an affiliate of Traverse Culture and what they're doing. Back to Eden, the Kenya initiative.
I think I did hear about this.
I've had Kia on my platform a couple times, and Kia's definitely doing the thing for sure. Like medical tourism, all of that. And she has a great team too, really good team. But I'm interested. Yeah, this is all the Traverse Culture stuff. But I don't know for the culture. I think I'm interested to know like what that digital agency does. She's featured in Travel Noir.
I'm already subscribed to her channel. Oh, duh! I did see her video before. We watched this video from her before. African American relocates to Kenya. I'm gonna say like because I was like she does look familiar. So we definitely watched one of her videos before. Dope. She has a dope channel. I'd already subscribed to it. Make sure you guys do it too. But yeah, man, shout out to her, man.
I'll definitely have to check out her business too to see what she's up to. Because I mean, obviously, she has turned. Okay, she has a TikTok. She probably has a prominent TikTok channel. But she's turned her life into a business.
Right. And she was featured in Travel Noir twice. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to her, man. And we just all snooping through your page and stuff like that. It's in case you watching. Yeah.
But I mean, it's always good to know what people are doing for a living when they're living on the continent. 4-bedroom,
Absolutely.
4-bathroom with two staff members for the house, and hobbies and a dog. Those are not. Those are monthly expenses that they have costs, and so
Yeah.
she's able to afford all of that. And so it's just inspiration and a model to follow, right? What seems to be working for her, you can figure out what makes sense for you, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, Kenyans, don't forget in the comments how much does that house person cost, man? Like, what's that monthly expenditure cost? Because I'm very intrigued to know about that. But yeah, all right. Shout out to her. Let's keep going. Hello. Oh, there we go.
About 30 minutes outside of Nairobi. So the rent is a little bit more affordable compared to living downtown. But right now, my rent is 90,000 Kenyan shillings, which is approximately 700 US dollars. I shop at local markets, but also the supermarket for food. And I also have to buy groceries.
Pause that right there.
Yeah, man. What the hell? Hold up. Hold up, man. Go ahead, Joe. Let me walk this off real quick, man.
So
go ahead, man. What
$700 a month. Now I don't know if in Kenya you have to pay a year up front, but that is a much better lifestyle than what you get in the United States. So when I lived in Ghana, I was in a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom apartment, not nearly the kind of view that she has. But I was paying $600 a month where I was staying, and I had a housekeeper for $100 a month. So my household expenses, except for counting for the grocery shopping, was about $700 a month. But if you account for the grocery shopping, it was probably about $800-900 a month for a 3-bedroom, 3.5-bathroom apartment. So these are the things, depending on what your income is,
right?
These are the things that you get to enjoy. And she chose to live a little bit outside of Nairobi, right? So, or like right outside the city limits, so that she could have a much nicer apartment in a luxury building. But look, guys, this is what it can look like. This is what life can look like for you if you do it right. And so I cannot wait to get back to that kind of life.
Absolutely. Likewise, man. Well, it'll be my first time getting into that kind of life. I'm on my way though. Like, this is so freaking inspiring.
Yeah.
And of course, guys, like, I don't want to come off insensitive either when we're talking about the price and stuff like that. It's just, I know a lot of times people think of American dollars, like, oh, you guys make this much a year, it's crazy. But yeah, if you make $50,000 a year, but your expense in the United States doesn't equal the cost of living, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, there's not one state in the United States where the minimum wage can afford you a 1-bedroom apartment. It doesn't exist here. So,
right.
This is an incredible, inspiring video right now. Shout out to Web Nation. Shout out to Rochelle, man. This is dope, man.
For me and my house manager, so that could be upwards of about $200. And I would say my bills, my water bill, electricity, and all the utilities, it does total to less than $1,500, including everything. My rent, my employee salaries, and my basic needs. I make a little more than about $40,000 a year, and I'm able to live a comfortable life here in Kenya as well as abroad in Latin America. I was able to live a comfortable life as well.
Yeah, absolutely, sir.
All right. So,
what?
She just kept it so real.
I did not expect her to give the income and her expenses. That's insane.
Yeah. Wow. Now that means that she doesn't have a bunch of expenses and debt back in America that she has to cover monthly.
Right.
She said $44,000 a year. She spends about $1,500 a month. She is living the life of luxury on $44,000 a year. Right. Now think about that, guys. Think about that. Now, the other thing that you'll find with most people so how much?
$18,000. If $18,000 is how much she spends. So I'm sorry, we all up in your business.
So 18 out of 44,000, that's what's left for her to play around with.
She got $26,000 to play with after her expenses.
After her household expenses are covered, all of her household expenses are covered. She has plenty. So guys, think about that, right? Like, you know, it's hard to fathom why people stay in the rat race, right? You know, left the rat race to wake up to this, right? I think was the title of the video, something to that effect.
Yep.
Right. And to your point earlier, it doesn't matter how much you make if your costs and your bills are so high that you really don't have much take home.
Right.
I'd rather live on 44,000 and have 20-something thousand at the end of the year to play with than to make 100,000 and have like 5,000 left at the end of the year to play with. Right? And so, you know, you have to take into consideration not just your income, but your output. And hers is very low there in Nairobi. So shout out to her. She is living the life, and obviously her business is only gonna grow, right?
Exactly.
So imagine keeping those same expenses, but she's making double the amount. What happens when she gets to 100K, 150K in her businesses and the stuff that she's doing, and you know, and living with an $18,000 per year overall household expenses, and that's it. Yeah, I mean, that's the life that we're talking about. That's why so many people are excited about moving to the continent. Yeah, I didn't have that same position because I had a lot of expenses back home and I was building a house at the same time and doing a number of other things. So my money was going a lot quicker. But I mean, this is it right here. This explains to you why people are making the move.
Exactly. Absolutely, man. Wow.
And it's very interesting because in the United States, I was actually offered an opportunity to make more than $100,000 this year if I moved to New York City. But once I did the math and I really considered it and I thought about the type of lifestyle that I wanted to maintain, I turned down that opportunity because I wanted to continue living in Kenya, and I do make a comfortable amount of money to live here. But if I were to move to New York City, the cost of living would eat up, you know, even if I was offered about $115,000, the cost of living would take most of that. And I still would be in the same predicament of trying to balance my lifestyle and my needs and my wants. So I would have been living a lower quality of life, spending more money living in New York City, even if I was making six figures, compared to the amount of money that I make here living in Kenya, living my dream life. Even if you make six figures in the United States, you're not guaranteed a high quality of life. Absolutely. That is the conundrum that a lot of people are faced with now.
Yo, she understands so what she literally every single thing that we explained, she just doubled down, tripled down on, and explained it further. Like, absolutely right. Kudos to her and congratulations to her, because so many people look at that high dollar amount like, oh yeah, I want to make six figures and stuff like that, and I'll be considered successful. But like you mentioned, like what's making six figures if you're, you know, left with like $1,000 at the end of every month because you have to live in New York City now. So yeah, kudos to her. Like, because what more do you need? What more do you need? Like she is living in such an incredible space, a 4-bedroom apartment with 2 balconies in New York City. I don't even want to throw up that price on here. It's gonna make y'all throw up. That should probably cost what, like $7,000-8,000 maybe a month?
Yeah, I mean, look, I have lived in a $3,500 apartment that was just a 1-bedroom, 1 bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. And that was because it was in downtown Brooklyn and it was in a nicer building. But you know, a 4-bedroom in New York City, first of all, that space that she has, you're not gonna get one that size. If you are gonna get one that size with 2 balconies, $7K plus 10K, something to that effect. You're not gonna be able to get anything like that in any major metropolitan in the United States for anything under $6,000, $7,000, and you're lucky if you can get it for $6,000. But it's gonna be $7,000 to $10,000 for sure. 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom. Mm-hmm. And she has a house manager.
Yeah, come on now. For $100 a month. Come on now. Come on now. It ain't no discussion, ain't no debating. She is very, very, she's brilliant. She's brilliant. And she could focus more on her own businesses and growing that instead and putting more money back in her pocket than to make somebody else rich. You know, it's brilliant.
I am an entrepreneur with 2 brands. I have For the Culture, which is my travel lifestyle brand, and I curate cultural content, language content, street interviews, street food content. I enjoy being out in the street, immersing in cultures all around the world and sharing my experiences. I do feel like I was afforded a very unique lifestyle. I did not ask for, this life that I have been given, but I am grateful for it. And I share my experiences. Over the time, I've been able to build my social media platforms to over 120,000 followers. And that's what inspired me to launch my digital marketing agency. So I also have a digital marketing agency helping other people do what I do. I provide virtual assistant services. I provide digital services such as graphic design, website design, etc. And that is called Pixel.
Hey Web Nation family, quick question for you. If you're watching this, chances are you've been thinking about what it could take to actually relocate to Africa. Maybe to South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, or beyond. If this is you, I want to personally invite you to join the Web Nation waitlist. This is your early access to our relocation step-by-step course and even our guided tours across Africa. By joining, you'll be the first to know when new guides drop for your country of choice, and you will unlock early bird discount plus exclusive bonuses. And when we launch our tours to South Africa and Zanzibar, waitlist members get first steps before seats sells out. If you are serious about relocating, starting a business, or just experiencing Africa in a whole new way, scan the QR code on your screen if you are watching on TV, or click the link below to join the Web Nation waitlist today. Now I can't wait to see you inside. Let's get
I would say it is eons better in a multitude of ways, even when it comes down to the fresh food and the naturally fresh and healthy diet in Kenya. That's been a big influence in my life because even when I was living in the United States, people had told me that I was on track to be pre-diabetic. People had told me that I needed to, do things to improve my health, but it was difficult due to the poor quality of food and just the dishonest agriculture, fundamentals. And so moving to Kenya helped me live a more healthy life because they have a very plant-based diet, very fresh fruits and vegetables. And also I feel a sense of peace here that I haven't been able to find in the United States, especially because I am a part of the majority here. So as living in a Black country, as a Black person, it gives me a sense of peace and safety that I hadn't experienced living in the Americas.
All right. Just to double back on that as well too, like I experienced the same thing when I was in Kenya. When I went there, the first thing I noticed was just how good the air quality was compared to the United States. I was like, wow, I feel like I'm actually breathing. And then when she mentioned the food, when you're on vacation, you splurge. You might want to try new things, eat things and stuff like that. But I noticed my body started to immediately start to detox within like the first couple of days. And I started feeling lighter and slimmer and having more energy and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, the food here makes such a major difference. It's just a stark reminder of just how processed food is in the United States, how hard it is to find real good food, in the United States. And so, I met families who relocated to Kenya, and it was like, yeah, we end up losing weight just by living. You don't have the same stress and cortisol levels. There's so many factors that go in there. And so clearly, she's happier, living the life that she wants to live, probably less stress and stuff like that than living in the United States, which also contributes, to weight and stuff like that. So yeah, kudos to her, man.
Yeah, and I'll just add one thing to that. When you talk about race and how we are considered minorities in the United States, right, making up somewhere between 13 and 20%, because a lot of people don't answer the census, right? Right. Let's say it's the number that they say it is, 13%, 15% minorities in America. Around the world, sub-Saharan Africans make up for 14 to 16% around the world, but Europeans and white people of white descent or European descent are only 10 to 16%, right? And that's sub-Saharan African. That's a version of African. There are more. Right. There are more versions of Africans, right? Right. And we're just talking about Africans, right? North Americans is another percentage, right? They don't even consider that's sub-Saharan Africans. They're not even talking about Black Americans, which makes up another percentage. So if you add that up, we are one of the largest groups around the world. Second to Asians and East Asians, right? Because there are different versions of people from the continent of Asia. So just want to make sure we mention that to those of you who are wondering, when you talk about these numbers, and especially on the continent, you are absolutely a majority, not a minority.
Absolutely, man. And then, The Brazil as well too, having the most
Yeah.
black people outside of Africa. There's a lot of black Latin people as well too. So like yeah, like it's black people are everywhere. Like and the Europeans knew that. That's why they were so scared. But they're like there's Negroes everywhere. but yeah, man, it's that sense of peace of being in a black country and a country like Kenya, which is like growing and thriving and stuff like that. It's beautiful to see, man. So absolutely beautiful to see.
There were
Yeah, hold up, my bad. Shout out to my man Alvin in the building. Alvin, what's going on, bro? I still got that hoodie for you, man. I got you. Don't worry about it. Shout out to everybody on Authentic Africans chat as well too, man.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to you all. Imani, check the private chat real quick. I got a message for you there.
Got you.
But we can keep going though. I just wanted you to see that.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna play it and then I'm gonna look for it.
Okay.
not a lot of huge cultural shocks, especially because I lived in Latin America for 5 years. I do tell people that I think Latin America prepared me to live in Africa in a lot of ways because it is similar in a lot of ways, even culturally. So there weren't any huge culture shocks. It's not like I was in America yesterday and I just touched down, the next day in Africa. So I would say that is a great question, but maybe the real estate prices, because some of the real estate prices here are similar to the United States prices, or even more expensive than some apartments in the United States, and even more expensive than South Africa, because when I was considering moving to South Africa, I was comparing the prices, and Kenya does have the highest real.
Oh yeah, Joe, I got you, man. Look, this is the beauty about Top Hill, man. Like, look, we live, we do this show live. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, handle your business, bro. It's all good.
I'll be back.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and chat it up with the people while we're in here, man. I'm gonna just give some shout outs in here. Shout out to Jada, shout out to Maid of Africa in the building. I see you. Lamac, I see you. Carmen!
It is I. I've arrived.
It's Carmen, guys. What up, man?
Ooh. Hey guys.
Hey.
Ooh, okay. It's a
Yeah,
different little setup.
it's a different little setup, you know what I mean? But we got our guy Joe on. He just had to go to the bathroom real quick, but he about to be back.
Okay, I'm gonna get to surprise him.
Yeah, exactly. You just pull up right here and be like, what the heck?
Oh, this you dropped your mic.
Oh, yeah. That happens sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. That happens sometimes. That's all good. Carmen, how you doing? Why you Hold up, man. Let me get Carmen properly back in here, man. Hold up. Where my shit at? Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the official Carmen has entered the building.
Hey.
Hello? What's that? Give my co-host a round of applause.
Hey everybody.
Hair looking fire. I see you. Yeah, you look good.
Man, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Right.
The day that I've had.
Yeah, man. Man.
But we fall down.
But we get up. Yeah, so just to fill you in on what we did so far. So we did the first interview with Jay, who does the autism awareness in Kenya. Really, really dope. And now we got Jay on. We're doing a reaction video. We had a conversation for a little bit, and then we're doing a reaction video now, Web Nation. Joe, what's going on, man? So look, yeah, man, I got to introduce you to my lovely co-host Carmen real quick. Yeah.
What's up, Carmen?
Hey. How
I missed you the last time I was here, but I'm glad we got a chance to finally meet.
Likewise.
Yeah, man. I was just like, I was calling Joe the Carmen repeller because it's just like, I'm just joking. But I was like, no, Carmen's showing up tonight, man. Carmen's showing up. So, okay. So we're doing a reaction video of this woman who moved from America to Kenya. Okay. And we were just talking about like her living experience. So she lives in a crazy apartment, 4-bedroom apartment, 2 balconies, beautiful. Hold up, let me see.
4-bedroom apartment with 2 balconies. You had me.
Overlooking the national park in the middle of the city, prime location. You know what I mean? And guess how much she spends for her apartment every month?
How much?
$700.
What?
And she has
no comma?
No, no comment. That's it. That's all the decimals you need.
No extra zero?
No. Oh, there's an extra $100 if you want to have your own personal chef and maid to come in and clean up your apartment for you, take care of your dog for you.
Only
Just
$100?
$100 a month. That's it.
My total monthly expense is $1,500 a month for the house.
You know,
Total.
I think I might be able to do something, be a
Yeah.
digital nomad or something. I could.
That's what she does. So she has like two businesses. So basically, we broke down. So she says she makes $44,000 a year, but her expenses are only $15,000 a
Yeah,
year.
I was gonna say. I mean,
She takes home $26,000. She was offered a high six-figure job to go to New York, but she was like, "Why do that?"
most of her figures will be in living expenses alone.
Exactly. So, but yeah. So we're caught up now. All right. Let's get back to it, guys.
Do you know what part of Kenya?
Nairobi.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you fight back?
Can
Real estate prices I've seen I would probably say most countries. Majority of the people have been very welcoming. Majority of my experiences have been positive, but of course there's always the minority of just understanding how people perceive African Americans, or maybe some things that they've heard in social media or even heard growing up. I have had a lot of discussions just hearing the disconnect and hearing what people have heard about us or what they may have perceived about us. And that has been a journey, just navigating maybe the negatives or the negative experiences. But majority of the people are very welcoming, and I've been told welcome home more times than I can count. I have found a supportive community here in Kenya, which I am very grateful for. There are even Black expat communities where there are Nigerians, Haitians, Dominicans, Jamaicans, everything that you can think of. And it has been amazing being able to connect with them, even Black British people, Black Canadians. And so Nairobi is very diverse, and there's a lot of Black people from all over the world who have found their happy place here. I do feel safe living in Kenya, and I am grateful for the life that I live here. And it did take a little bit of getting used to the do's and the don'ts, and things along those lines just to ensure my safety. But once I adjusted, I did feel very safe here. The hardest adjustment for me would be adjusting to maybe a bit more of a conservative culture and making sure that I understand and learn about the culture so that I can respect it and properly assimilate without offending people or overstepping. So it is a bit more conservative here. Also, it is a very patriarchal country, which is something that was a bit to get used to, especially after living in Brazil, which is a very free-spirited and liberal culture. Even the United States can be considered somewhat liberal, especially in some states. And so adjusting to a culture that was a bit more conservative and just adjusting to the difference of cultures, the difference in communications, etc., was something that I had to adjust to. When I had first
another caveat to get you caught up. She's traveled to 16 countries in Africa and decided that Nairobi was.
Oh, so she's very well versed.
Yeah,
Didn't
very
just
well
go to
versed.
Kenya and eat a good fish and move
That would have been me. I ate a good thing. Like, now I want to be here.
Me too.
Right. She grew up with a single father. Her dad was military, so
Okay.
he exposed her to travel and stuff like that when she was very young. But she's been to 16 African countries, but have not been to West Africa yet. So I know, which is like we mentioned, like that's crazy.
Which ones did she go to?
Right. She didn't mention all of them, but I know she did mention South Africa. Joe, I don't know if you remember like the other countries she mentioned, but
she didn't mention any other ones. I presume it was Southern Africa, because if you've been to 16 and you've been to South Africa, I would imagine she probably went to like all of them, right? Zambia, Namibia, those, because Botswana, because those, like if you're on that East Coast Southern Africa tour, you go to all those countries. Because if she's been to 16 and not been to West Africa, I would imagine it's those.
Yeah, probably those southern countries and the eastern countries too, right? Probably like Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda.
Yeah, exactly. Rwanda for sure.
Yeah. All right.
First moved abroad at the age of 18, the United States Navy fully facilitated my visa, of course, and my residency visa abroad in Europe. But when it was time for me to move to Mexico alone, I realized that there was a lot of bureaucracy behind the scenes that I had no knowledge of. And it was time for me to do all that by myself. So I ended up getting a residency visa for Mexico, a 1-year residency visa, which was fairly straightforward and easy. And then I was a resident in Brazil, and I had a digital nomad visa, which again was fairly, it was a more expensive, but still fairly affordable and a fairly simple process. And then I am currently a resident in Kenya here. And this has been almost a complete opposite experience. It's been very difficult and very expensive. I have spent over $1,200 US getting residency here, and it was not easy even to find a trustworthy person to facilitate my visa, unfortunately, because you do need either an immigration specialist or a lawyer to file your visa, or else it will not be processed efficiently or accurately. So there were a lot of loopholes and a lot of trial and error getting residency on the continent. Unfortunately, it was significantly more difficult compared to Latin America or Europe, but I did it.
Yeah, Joe, I was gonna say, if you could talk probably better about the visa situation. 1,200 seems like astronomical for a visa.
It is, but I guess for residency, technically it's for residency. But here's the thing: if you want a more westernized country, you're gonna get more westernized prices, right? So, when we're talking about West Africa, getting residency, especially if you have a passport from the continent, so much easier, so much faster. You can pay a little bit more to get it done. By a little bit more, I mean like a couple $100s. I've never seen anything as much as $1,200 to get residency in any of the West African countries that I know of. But that's also, it's a different place, right? It's a different place, it's a different process, much cheaper, and much more straightforward. It's just basically you go to the office, they tell you what you got to do, and if you want to speed it up, pass a little bit of something, whoever you need to, it gets done, right? But in Kenya is more westernized, right? They say it's a lot like London. I haven't been, but all the people that I know who spend a lot of time in Nairobi, it's like London in Africa, right? And so if you think about how London is, there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape you got to go through to get residency, just like you have to do in the United States. It's more Western. So when it's more Western in terms of its culture, it's going to be a lot harder to get those things done and more expensive to get those things done. So that's the trade-off, right? But I will say, though, that cost of living is kind of similar in East Africa and in West Africa, too. Because as I was saying earlier, $600 I was paying for three bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms when I was living in Ghana. So you can find very similar style of living. I wasn't in a luxury apartment, though, but you can find a very similar style of living in West Africa if you know where to rent and who to rent from. But yeah, so I just wanted to make mention of that for those of you who are thinking about that process. It's not like that everywhere in Africa. It's just specifically that in Kenya. Right.
And then I'm not sure if she mentioned exactly which visa she was getting to. Was it the digital nomad visa? There might be other alternatives as well, too, to maybe get different type of
Well, she was talking about a digital nomad visa in
Kenya.
In Brazil. In Kenya, she was residency was $1,200.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was to get residency. So that's a little bit different, right? Because the visa is for a shorter period of time. Residency is like, I'm moving here.
Got you. Okay.
If you want to live somewhere, it is ideal to get residency. So I am a resident of Ghana. Right. So when I go in and out of Ghana, now I show my residency card instead of my Sierra Leone passport. So that it's not like if I want to stay for 3 months, I don't have to worry about, or longer than that, I don't have to worry about. My passport only says I can be here for 90 days and I have to pay some penalties. Because I'm a resident now, I can spend as much time in Ghana as I want. And that's the difference, right? Like if you want to move somewhere, you go beyond the visa and become a resident. Now becoming a permanent resident is a different process, but you can become a resident and you can renew. Don't know what it looks like in Kenya, but that's why she did residency there, because she's planning to set a life there. She just talked about, doing more renovations and stuff in the house. So, she's going to be living there. So residency is going to be a little bit more expensive, more of an arduous process, but still not that expensive in Ghana.
Interesting. Okay. Good points. We're going to have a conversation about passports on this show as well, too. Like just breaking down, because I've seen so many like articles as well, too, just the power of having multiple passports, like the benefits of having them and why people are using them. Because a lot of people, in the United States, I think we pulled up this stat not that long ago, I think, like 10% of Black people or 20% of Black people own a U.S. passport, and only 10% actually use it. You know what I mean? And so,
and I heard something like 25% of all Americans have
passports. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like there's there's a lack of probably some understanding and knowledge, of why you might want to consider having one. Because I'm assuming most of the world, they will try their best to get a passport, right? Because they want to like travel around and stuff. But
yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if you're in Europe, everyone in Europe has passports because they travel a lot more than Americans do. America has always thought about American exceptionalism, so it's like, why do I even need to leave this country? I got everything I want right here. Maybe, but for me, so I got my passport probably when I was like a teenager, and then had it renewed. But having a secondary passport does make certain things easier depending on where it is, right? So as we talked about earlier, right, being able to move around West Africa without getting a visa to go to Ghana, to Nigeria, to Gambia. So like I went to all of those countries. I went from Sierra Leone to Ghana, Ghana to Nigeria, Nigeria back to Sierra Leone in a 5-week span. And I didn't have to get any visas because I had my Sierra Leone passport, right? So it allowed me to move around all those countries. I went to Gambia a couple years after that and didn't need a visa to go to Gambia. Without that Sierra Leone passport, I would have had to pay for a visa for each country I was entering into, right? And so it really does help depending on where you get your passport from and what block it's in part of. You can travel around there freely. But I would say to all the people watching, because we haven't talked about this, this live stream, if you can show that you have more than 50% of your heritage from West Africa, you can get citizenship in Sierra Leone, much like I did. A little bit of a different process, but you can get citizenship in Sierra Leone, which allows you to move around West Africa more freely. And then Ghana is also offering citizenship on a more ad hoc basis. It's the president has to do an executive order to do it, but you can get citizenship in Ghana, which I'm also planning on working on over the next year or so. I'm trying to get my Ghana citizenship too, so I can get my 3 passports. But so there is a process that is being actively worked on by some folks right now to get more people citizenship in Ghana as well. 800 people were given citizenship over a 5-month span last year, right?
I saw that.
So that's something that's in the works with the new president in Ghana, Mahama. So something to look out for. I definitely recommend people getting a secondary passport. It makes everything easier. Starting a business, opening a bank account, and obviously if you're a citizen of another country, you get to vote in their elections to at least be a part of the political process there. And then you can move around just a whole lot easier with all the different things that you might want to do. Maybe you want to have money that you make on the continent live in a bank account on the continent, right? But you can't do that unless you are a resident or a citizen. And so those kinds of things are helpful, so that way you can, you can have your money in different places and it's not tied to one system.
Right. Okay.
I just wanted to circle back to when you were saying that in I forget what country it was that you needed 50, you could show 50% ancestry on there. So Sierra Leone. Okay. So how would you show that? Like, would they accept the ancestry reports or the different websites?
Yeah, as of last year, and this is still in process and in progress, I will say that. But they basically said from African Ancestry DNA, what used to be called Ancestry.com, and then there's some other company called Cybergenetics, Genomics, something like that. I have to find the name of the company, but nobody uses that one anyway. But Ancestry.com, as long as 50% of your heritage is from anywhere in West Africa, they will allow you to get citizenship. It is a $5,000 2-trip process.
What? Excuse you? What you say to me?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah, it's $5,000, 2 trips. They made some changes to it as of recent, so they're still working out the kinks in the process. There's also a whole nother citizenship by investment program that Sierra Leone has, much more expensive, but it's a fast track to get it done in 90 days or 60 days. People of African descent can pay $100,000, which is a lot more money, but you can pay $100,000 and you can get citizenship by investment. They give you a business account. Sorry, they give you a business and a bank account in Sierra Leone along with the passport, and that's done in 60 days if you have African descent. If you are of non-African descent, you could pay $140,000 for all the same things, but it's 90 days. 13 people did it in the last 6 months, so it is something that is real and something that they did recently just launch. A lot more expensive. Not everybody has $100,000 to invest in a citizenship, but that's something that they do have. But $5,000 is the one that most people are doing. And you go on a trip, you find out your tribe, you even get like named by a tribe, you get a host family that adopts you, you get like it's a whole process where you really
for all that, then 5,000 is too crazy.
Well, some people complain that it's too much.
I mean, I think I see both sides of the coin, because it's like, okay, I was taken here against my will and I'm trying to, see what's going on, but on the other end, it's like nothing in life is free, and you're getting all of these things done. Like you're getting hosted, you're getting some information as far as your lineage, probably, being fed, like all these other accommodations are being made.
Yep.
So I don't think 5,000 is too crazy. Does that cover flights too, or?
I think it covers your flight from New York.
Okay.
So I think if you have to fly from anywhere to New York, you cover that piece.
Oh, well, that's I'm a driver.
And think about how many times people go on these trips to all these different countries, right? And they pay $5K for that, right?
Yeah,
and
they
don't walk away with citizenship, right?
Right.
I know somebody who spent $7,000 to go to Tulum last year, right?
Okay.
I was like, but yeah, so people spend that kind of money on vacations all the time, and this particular individual definitely was doing like 3 or 4 trips like that a year. She's doing really well for herself, but that's what people do that. So if you could take that and you could get citizenship, and which allows you to move freely around 16 different countries, 14 different countries, I definitely recommend it. The process is still under review, and there's some things, the kinks that they have to work out, but in general, it's a pathway to citizenship somewhere else.
Right. I just found I think I made the cut, man. I think I made the cut. I got a whole bunch of.
I can't see it. What does it say?
Hold on. Okay, I'll read it out. So I got 24% Nigerian, 15% Benin, Togo, 10% Mali, 7% Ivory Coast and Ghana, 5% Senegal.
I gotta give me one of these tests.
9% Cameroon, 6% Western Bantu. I barely got any of them colonizers in me, man. That's a lot of
Well, look,
back in here.
I know Cameroon doesn't count, unfortunately, but I think with the rest, I think you still meet the criteria. Cameroon's still considered Central Africa, even though it's it's borders on Nigeria, but they consider it Central Africa. But I think with the rest, I mean, I don't do math in public, but it sounds like you were close.
Yeah, I think I'm close, man. I think. Hold on, no, I am close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm definitely there. I'm definitely there.
All right. Well, then there you go. So the process is simple.
It's Sierra Leonean, y'all.
We can talk about that offline for sure. There's a question here from Lamac, who was on my live stream earlier.
Yeah.
If you are a dual citizen of America and an African country with a bank account in that African country, does the U.S. tax your money in Africa? Are you double taxed?
Great question.
I am not an accountant. Okay.
Great answer. Great answer.
I have to start with that. But I will say this.
I will say this.
The United States taxes everything that is visible to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you are supposed to be taxed on all income, no matter where it's earned.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's greedy.
Oh yeah.
So,
that's America. Uncle Sam is gonna get his.
So everything that they see, they tax. So take that how you want. I'm not an accountant. But yeah.
Was today years old. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't reached that part of the adulthood yet. I didn't know. I'm taxed everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere got taxes.
Yeah. Even if you do business.
Okay.
I'm not a tax professional either. Just for the record, but I know Talise mentioned this too when she was in Kenya. Earn Your Leisure actually asked her this question, and she said that she is still taxed for her businesses that she has in America.
Okay.
And what business she has in Kenya, she pays the taxes in Kenya.
Okay. That's fair.
So
You still have
but-
to report it though to the American government. So that's
Yeah.
why you gotta
Sure.
always be careful. You gotta always be careful
yeah.
when you communicate publicly, because
Right.
she's different because mostly everything she makes is, she gets checks every quarter, right? Because she has
Right.
publishing checks, right?
Right.
And most of that is all, even if it's international, it's all taxed in the United States.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what businesses and what income she earns outside of the United States,
Mhm.
but as an American citizen, the United States wants you to report it. Now, from
Right.
what I understand, you're required to report it, but a lot of companies that pay individuals outside the United States do not share that information with the United States government.
Mm.
That's real.
So
Real ones.
yeah, take that as you
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna continue with this video, and then I actually got another video that's kind of talking more about passports. I'm actually really intrigued about this conversation. I want to dive a little bit more into it too. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and finish up with Rochelle and Web Nation real quick. Get back to it.
Yes, what did I wish that I knew before moving to Kenya? I wish that I had saved a bit more money because I did underestimate how much it would cost to actually get settled in here. When I had first moved to Nairobi, my money just started disappearing. I had encountered some housing issues, and yeah, my money just started disappearing very quickly. So save more money than you ever think you're going to even need. Be prepared for high real estate costs, especially as a foreigner who may not have access to some of the units that locals have access to and know of. Also, be prepared for the residency process, the expensive cost, and the navigating the process of finding a lawyer or even an immigration specialist, which is mandatory. Also, I wish that I had known about the high cost of entry, even to register your business in Kenya. Foreigners need $100,000 US in capital, which was something that I was not aware of. So things like that, the cost of the residency, the ease of doing business.
Yeah.
So this is the reason why you want to have citizenship in the country that you want to go to, right? And so foreigners do have to pay more to register a business, right? A lot of countries require $100,000, $40,000, $50,000 to register your business as a foreigner.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's if you register your business, you earn money in that country, and you pay taxes in that country. Again, I'm not an accountant.
Right. This is like for like if big companies like say like the Hilton wants to build a hotel in Nairobi or something like that, they clearly have over $100,000 in capital. It kind of weeding out. Is that like kind of what that is? Is like
well, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. And I think the other part of it too is that they just don't want anybody coming and making money off their country and they don't get a piece of it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But I will say this, most people who live in a country like that make money outside that country.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you may not have to actually pay taxes in that country. You just live there. Right. So, like for me, when I'm in Ghana, any income I earn is actually not even in Ghana cedis.
Mm-hmm.
It's paid to me from, my businesses in the United States, which I pay taxes on in the US, federal government, New York State. I do pay taxes on all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where I get paid. So I don't have to worry about what Ghana's fees are. But Ghana also has, I don't know if it's $100,000, but Ghana does have a fee to register a business as a foreigner in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
I think every country on the planet, has some version of that, right?
Right.
So I think it's just important to know that. I think that might give some people sticker shock. And that's why having dual citizenship in a country is useful. And that's why I want to get citizenship in Ghana, right?
Right. And if you're a foreign person trying to do business in America, Trump wants them tariffs. But
American companies pay tariffs too, though, by the way.
True.
They're the ones actually paying the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
It gets charged here. Anyway.
And living here and getting settled down here is not resources that I had seen in a lot of people's videos. So that was things that I had to learn the hard way on my own. And I'm grateful for the communities that I found here that have helped me throughout the way. Would I ever consider moving back to the US? Honestly, I don't know what the future holds, but I know that now I do feel like I am home, and Kenya is my home base. I'm permanently living in Africa. I would say the only reason I would move back to the United States is to pursue my doctorate's degree. That is one thing that I have thought about in the near future. I am a full-time student currently, pursuing my bachelor's, and when it is time to pursue my doctorates, I'm not sure what the future will hold. Hopefully, I'm able to find a program that works for me here in Kenya or even on the continent. But if I do pursue my doctorate's degree, that's probably the only reason why I would move back to the United States. What advice would I give to someone who wants to repatriate? I would say that Africa is the future, and there is a reason why so many people are choosing to live here of all races. There are Europeans and Asians and Indians who come here and thrive. And so why not the African diaspora come here and reconnect with their African roots? It is time. It does take a little bit of courage and a little bit of adjustment, but it is well worth it at the end of the day. I've been living here for a year, and I can say that I am thriving after a bit of trial and error. It is 100% worth the risk and worth the move.
Amen.
I would tell my past self to stop procrastinating, come to Africa, because it is going to make you feel like a whole new person, and you are going to embark on a journey that takes you to new heights that you never even knew you could reach. And I would just tell myself that it's time, and it's time to discover the truth for yourself, not the truth that the media likes to portray in the West, which is not the truth at all. Africa is beautiful, Africa is very diverse, Africa is the future, and Africa is where I belong. In the next 5 years, I see myself fully established with my digital marketing agency and my brand for the culture, and I see myself thriving on the continent. I do see myself being a graduate, pursuing my master's degree, hopefully, and on my way to my doctorate's degree. I see myself having a house. I would like to have a house and a farm, and having a homestead, which has always been my dream. So that is where I see myself making an impact in the world, finding avenues to give back to the local community, and continuing immersing myself in a local community, continuing to provide jobs and hire Kenyans, hire people on the continent as well as my business grows. The final message that I have to the people is, don't be scared to take a risk. Don't be scared to pursue your dreams. Don't be scared to do it alone. And sometimes you do have to do it scared. I am here living in Kenya because I took the risk, and I did it scared, and I did it with anxiety, and I did it not knowing if it was even going to work. But I made the decision to take the risk and to make my decisions right, even if every decision was not the right decision. And that is the mentality that you have to have when it comes to pursuing a bigger and better life for yourself.
Round of applause for Miss Rochelle, man. That was absolutely dope.
It's been a year, but I can't let the film go to waste. Let's talk.
All right, man. Wow, man. Double round of applause, man. That was amazing. So many gems, so many great conversations just from that one video, man. Shout out to Web Nation as well too for providing that as well too, man. Yeah, every single time I watch videos like this, I'm just more and more inspired and motivated to actually go and do this. I've seen so many people so far, expats like repatriating back into Africa, whether it's Kenya, South Africa, Ghana, whatever the case is, and something you just can't fake the funk, man. Like these people, you can see it in their face, you can see it in their stories and stuff like that. Like it resonates. You know what I mean? And I've been to the continent long enough to already know like this is something I know I want to do. So incredible to watch, man.
And just to go like piggyback off what you were saying, I like that it opens up so many different conversations, because like the tax thing, for example, I would never even thought about that. Like I feel like it's time to move abroad. A lot of people are thinking of the core questions like, how am I going to make this money? Where I'm going to live? Family, things like that, those expenses, but like not like the details, like taxes and your businesses and how that works.
Right, exactly.
So research is very essential, but these conversations and like this show, I feel like really opens up that world.
Absolutely, for sure. Yeah, man, super dope. just to go back on that conversation again, I want to talk more about these passports, man. So,
Yeah.
you know, I have a United States passport. Carmen got one. Joe, you said you have a Ghanaian passport, right?
No, Sierra Leone and US, but I'm working on the Ghanaian one.
Working on the Ghanaian one.
Passport spread.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this up for you guys. I'm not sure if you guys heard about this, but for the first time in a long time, the U.S. is no longer in the top 10 most powerful passport list.
Oh, are you surprised?
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that. All right. According
my golden book.
according to Time magazine, U.S. drops out of the top 10 list of most powerful passports.
Out of top 10? I
Yeah.
thought, okay.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even hear that. I was thinking maybe we wasn't number one. But
Oh, no. We're like 13 now.
Who's number one?
I think it's the UAE. I think they're gonna. Let me see if I can find it on here.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's Dubai, right?
Of course.
Let's see. Top 10 most powerful passport 2025.
Oh wait, I think it was
Singapore is number one.
There you go.
South Korea number 2, Japan number 3, Germany and Italy and Luxembourg and Spain and Switzerland all tied for 4th, Austria for 5th, and Belgium and Denmark. Okay, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, this is based on, and you see, it's based on access to other countries, right? So there's 206 recognized countries in the world.
Got you. Okay.
So Singapore can go to 193 different countries. That's what this is based on. So this particular list is based on that. And look, as the United States adds more tariffs, more countries are like, yeah. So now we're changing things up for how you can work with us.
Right.
They said Uno reverse.
Right. Let's see. Very interesting. I'm trying to find the exact list. There was a list that showed not just off of entry, but like also like access and things that you could do as well too. But if I can't find it,
there it is. There's the list.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yep. Okay, so Singapore is one. South Korea, Japan. Okay, they labeled it out a lot nicer here. Okay, perfect. Okay, out of these lists here, is there a country that? Okay, I'm gonna just throw it out there. I'm already like, get him out of here.
How dare you? That was very anti-black. That felt very anti-black. That man doing here?
He's like, y'all using my platform.
Not
anyway,
pro-black channel.
Right. I don't see an African country on here.
That's right.
Right.
You know why?
Please tell me. Please tell me why.
So Africans are Afrophobic a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So like some African countries don't allow other African countries to come there easily.
Right.
So for example, when I was in Ghana, I worked for a company, Jumia. We were available in 11 countries. We were having a international. I keep forgetting. We're having an international sales conference in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Nigeria was not able to go because he couldn't get a visa to go.
Wow.
He was in Lagos. He went to Abuja, which is a 3-hour flight. He went to Abuja twice. And the first time, the guy from the Egypt embassy in Abuja did not show up for the meeting. So he had to fly back home without having a meeting. The second time he went there, he was denied. Right? So that's one. So you have 54 countries that aren't already letting you in, right? Then you got Europe, United States, who are also not trying to have you in either.
Right.
Right? So that's going to be a reason why none of them are going to be on this top list here.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they may not even be top 20, top 30, top 40, because it's so difficult to even be able to get around the continent of Africa,
Right.
being a passport holder from any one of those countries. I mentioned this before, right? When I went to Egypt, I got visa on arrival with my American passport.
Right.
When I went to Tanzania, I got visa on arrival with my American passport. Having my Sierra Leone passport would have taken me weeks to go to the embassies in Sierra Leone to be able to travel with a visa to those other African countries. So that's the number one issue. And then the other issue is this. A lot of Africans overstay their visas when they go to other countries, right? And so therefore those so those countries don't want to offer visas to Africans. It's just how they operate. And I will also say this. The United States has also chosen which countries they don't want you to go to as well. So, you know, look, some people like North Korea is a country that you're not allowed to go. It's not easy to go to.
Right.
Right. Cuba for a long time was under a trade embargo with the United States. You could not travel to Cuba. Right. So there are going to be countries on the list that the United States has chosen not to go to, which is also probably why it can drop, because it, you know, Singapore, you can go to more places than what the United States would be would allow their citizens to go to. So I do want to maybe call out those two nuances for Africa and, you know, and for the United States.
Very, very good point. I'm curious.
I too have some curiosity.
Yeah.
You all can probably answer the question then. Sounds silly, but I must know. When, you know, if our passport isn't allowed in certain places, does that mean I can't go to another country and then fly to another country from, you know, that we're not allowed to from there?
Yeah. So yes, this used to happen with Cuba all the time. People used to fly to Mexico and go around.
What made me think that. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's what people used to do. You can't do that anymore. You know, I don't think you could do that anymore because the U.S. is very, very strict on where you travel to when you're coming back to America now. You know, that's you know, especially with, you know, the current administration, right? So, you know, I don't think that you can go certain places without it being really scrutinized heavily. So I remember when people used to talk about how they would go to Cuba, they would do a round trip ticket to Mexico, and then they would do a round trip ticket from Mexico to Cuba. I don't know how they entered Cuba without stamping their passport and how they exited Cuba without stamping their passport. I'm not sure how they did that. I never really, I didn't want to go to Cuba that bad at that time to find out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, when you enter and leave a country, a passport gets stamped.
So from my understanding with the Cuba situation, there was a certain way as an American citizen you could go, but it was like you had to
have a reason.
You had to have a reason. It wasn't, you couldn't say for tourism or for vacation or for pleasure. It had to be for specific reasons. And what a lot of people did was like to I guess donate charity or something. I think was something similar to that was an option. So people will come and bring like, you know, toiletries and stuff like that to the people. And as long as you document that and prove that, then it's like, okay, cool. I don't know how long they did that for, but I do know I've seen a couple of travel vloggers do it. Like,
so like if you have family there, you can like essentially go.
I don't even know if family might have been an option. Let me actually say.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something we can Google. But Spear Warrior, shout out to Gerald, Spear Warrior. Sorry, I threw out your government. He's saying that they used to stamp a paper that you kept in your passport, so you could just remove that, I guess, when you were coming back to the States. I will say this though. Here's one thing though. There are countries that certain African countries can travel to that America could not. So, for example, when I wanted to go to Cuba, I went to Cuba after the trade embargo was lifted in 2014 under a previous administration. So I went to Cuba during that. But had I wanted to go to Cuba at any other time, I could go to Cuba on my Sierra Leone passport.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So this is
Sierra
what
Leone.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, but Sierra Leone can go to Cuba. So I do think that there are certain, there's certain ways that having a separate passport could help to go to certain countries that you may not, but there aren't a lot of countries that you can't go to on a U.S. passport that you want to go to. Right. You can go to most places that you want to on a U.S. passport.
Right.
You know, you can't go to North Korea so easily. But I mean, we're not trying to go to North Korea. Right. So I think you generally should be okay. It's just having to get a visa before you go is the process that I think people are always talking about. Right. So let's say you want to go to West Africa for 3 months and you're thinking you want to go to Ghana, Nigeria, Senegal. On a U.S. passport, you have to get a visa for each individual country, and you have to predetermine what dates you're going to each country. You can't just do like I'm going to decide these dates, right? Like there are certain windows in which you can travel to those countries in that trip, right? So me, if I want to go to those countries, I can do it however I want, whenever I want, for as long as I want, because I have my Sierra Leone passport. But if I was only operating on my U.S. passport, I'd have to get a visa for each individual country. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And just the Cuba point real quick. So this is what it says here. So while tourism is not explicitly allowed in Cuba, traveling permitted under the 12 general licenses issued by the U.S. government is. So one of them, the support of Cuban people, is a general license that's most popular. That's what people use. So that's why I was saying, like, if you bring toiletries and stuff like that, the support of the Cuban people is how a lot of people found their way into Cuba and, you know, still be able to come back. So that's one way. Now, in terms of these African passport, I was very curious to see, like, what's the strongest African passport, you know? Surprise, surprise, I'm not surprised. Seychelles is
the first heartbreak.
Seychelles is the #1 African passport.
Which makes sense.
Right. Mauritius is #2.
So, by the way, both of those two countries are tax havens.
Tax havens, really?
Yeah. So people do like it's like Delaware in the United States, right? Like, specifically Mauritius for sure, but Seychelles too. So that makes sense. And visa-free travel on arrival visa on arrival or visa-free. Seychelles, I do remember that. And Mauritius, of course, the same thing. So a lot of people who are doing business on the continent who start businesses don't actually do it in the country they're doing business in. They a lot of times do it in Mauritius or specifically Mauritius. And if I'm not mistaken, Mauritius also has a stock market too. They have a stock exchange.
Okay.
They have and it's in US dollars. You can do US dollars in the Mauritius Stock Exchange. Right. So anyway, just random facts that probably make why it's so easy to travel there.
Right. Yeah. So South Seychelles. We've done a couple of videos on Seychelles and Mauritius, and you know, even though they're considered African countries, it doesn't really, you know, it doesn't. They're African, but you know what I mean? We've heard a lot of unfortunate situations where they have discriminated against sub-Saharan Africans from coming to their countries and treated them as, you know, poorly or unjustly and stuff like that. So, yeah, not too surprised there. But so I look at this and I see South Africa as actually being technically, to me, a powerful one as well, too. But I did also hear Kenya recently announced that they are doing visa-free for all African countries, which I think that was a tremendous change and announcement just to like the forward of like just African unity. Can see Kenya offers visa.
Yeah, I think that was of July of this year, except Libya and Somalia.
Right, which, you know, I can understand partially, you know, without getting too much into the politics and stuff. Like Somalia is also like very, very close to Kenya, and I know they have a lot of trip issues and stuff like that. But yeah, so
there's a full list, and I forgot to mention this. There's a full list of countries that offer visa-free access to all African nationals. So Benin and the Gambia, Benin, Gambia, and Ghana, which are all in West Africa. Right. If you have ECOWAS passport or Sierra Leone passport, you can go to those countries anyway. But all African nationals can go to Benin, the Gambia, and Ghana. Rwanda, Seychelles, and Kenya are also now added to that list. So there's 6 countries no matter where you have an African, well, except for Libya and Somalia, conflict-free or minimalized conflict zones,
right?
You can get citizenship. I'm sorry, you can get visa-free access to those different countries.
Okay.
Burkina Faso also mentioned that they're removing visa fees, but I think you still have to get a visa.
Okay.
And Mauritius, Cape Verde, and Nigeria offer visa on arrival for many African countries as well. So just another fact for those.
Got you. So I bring this up because I mean clearly it's no surprise there. I mean, putting it on record, like I do want to get African citizenship. I do want to get an African passport. I think part of it too, like if Africa, in order for our people in general to just be seen in a certain way, we have to do the groundwork as well too. Like I want to, support and believe into our passports and everything that we have by action. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to have an African passport and be a citizen in an African country. I'm still doing my due diligence and my research to decide exactly which country that will be. So far I've been to Ghana, I've been to Tanzania, Kenya, and working on number 4. And then continue to explore, but also don't want to have like that analysis paralysis too, where I was just like, oh, maybe I need to go one more. I'm really leaning, I think, between Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa as like my top 3 so far. I would like to get your input as well too. I know you already have some experience in having a second passport, looking into your third. Without your personal opinion, not not that you're giving out clear advice or like this is what you need to do, but like your personal opinion based off of clearly some of my knowledge about my travels in the continent and stuff like that. What are some suggestions that you would have for somebody like me who's been frequently, and then maybe somebody like Carmen who is new to this, a little bit more new to this, haven't been to the continent yet, but still has an urge and passion to go? What would you suggest?
Well, it's really based on which has the smoothest pathway to citizenship. Right. So South Africa and Kenya don't really have a smooth pathway to citizenship. Right. It's a process like anywhere else. You're going to have to live there, as far as I understand, for both of those countries.
Right.
There's a process. Right. Ghana has a process, but it's through executive order, and there are systems in place that they're working on allowing people to get citizenship. Right. So I think in terms of the countries that people visit the most, that also have a lower barrier to entry in terms of citizenship, Ghana makes the most sense.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, Akufo-Addo, the former president of Ghana, the most recent one before Mahama, he gave 800 people citizenship in 5-6 months, and then prior to that, another 200 people, maybe more. So throughout his time, at least 1,000 people or so got citizenship in Ghana through executive order. Ruto in Kenya is not doing that, and Ramaphosa in South Africa is not doing that. They don't have a process where they're doing executive order citizenship. Sierra Leone also offers citizenship, and that's a little bit more of a straightforward process. It's a legislative process, right? So it's not by executive order. So meaning there are planned trips, there are systems and processes in place to do it. When it comes to Ghana, although that many people got citizenship over, 2 terms of the former president, it was kind of like you found out when you found out. And if you were in that window and you got it, you got it. It wasn't like there was a system in place for it. It looks like the new president, Mahama, is trying to put in systems to make it so that you can get citizenship.
Okay.
So that's probably the smoothest pathway to citizenship is going to be in Ghana of the countries you've mentioned. Sierra Leone has that citizenship process, but as I mentioned a little earlier, there's some kinks that they have to work out. It was the best time to have gotten Sierra Leone citizenship was like Spear Warrior, who I see in the chat, and a few other people I see in the chat. If you would have done it 2023 and before. So between 2019 and 2023, around 600 people got citizenship in Sierra Leone. Not a lot of people were aware that it was something you can do, but once you got it, you just renew it. Right now they're making some changes to it, so it's a little bit of a process, but yeah, of the countries you mentioned, Ghana for sure, because it actually has a pathway, right? It's an executive order, but there's a pathway. You don't have to live there for 5 or 10 years,
right,
necessarily, to be able to get it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And from my research, I picked up on that as well too. Like Ghana is very much welcoming, specifically to the diaspora, to like come back home. Not only do you get, because you know another thing too, like you can get a passport, and your passport may not have as much power,
Sure.
or you know what I mean. But if you become a Ghanaian citizen and get the passport, you can vote in elections. You can actually be a true citizen of Ghana. You know, even you know, and have a voice and have, you know, opinion and stuff like that. I do want to dive in to these two videos. We're running short on time. We gotta get out of here by midnight. So I do want to tackle these videos real quick. So I had this sitting here for a minute, and it's like, this is the perfect time to do it. This is from a YouTuber named Tia Taylor. This is how you can have 4 or more passports and why it matters. So let's go ahead and dive into this. If you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it.
How you can have not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 passports. I actually had 2 viral videos on TikTok 2 years ago talking about this topic, and I just felt like I needed to remake it, update it, polish it for YouTube because it's such an actual topic. The initial video talks about the fact that as an American, the US government actually has a lot of sway and control over your life even after you leave the US. For example, the fact that you still have to declare and oftentimes pay taxes in the US, regardless of where you live and work in the world, based off of the fact that you are a US citizen. And I also talked about the fact that I think that one of the biggest things going forward, an important thing going forward, is going to be your access and ability to move around the world, which will be obviously impacted by the citizenships that you hold. And I said that I had been sensing for the past few years that there's a big shift in the global power structures and things are changing. And even those countries that we once looked at as having less powerful passports and being less appealing are going to be, who knows, more and more appealing. This video was from 2 years ago, and these were things that I've been talking about on my channel for at least 5-6 years now. Tell me that it is not still actual, if not more actual. If you're new here, my name is Tia, and I am a half Nigerian, half Jamaican, born and raised in America, American that has been living in Italy for the past 11 years. This channel is all about me talking about my life and times and experiences as this multifaceted person. In this video,
so she says she's half Nigerian, half Jamaican, born and raised in the United States.
That's 3 passports right there.
She lives in Italy, so I'm guessing she has Italian, Jamaican, Nigerian, and American passports. That's my guess.
Right. I'm with you outside of the Italian one, because with Europe, I mean, you could just have any one of those European passports and be anywhere in Europe, right? So like,
yeah, that's true.
I do know, like, you know, that list that we have at the top 10. I was thinking too, like, if I did want to go for 3 passports, like, you know, I already have the US passport, which is a pretty strong passport. Having an African passport to me is important. And then I was like, what if I wanted to get a 3rd one? I will probably try to get something on that top 10 list as well. Or maybe something
a lot
like
of people say Japan.
Japan is,
How
but
do you even go up like start?
I don't think you can. So a lot of people don't realize Japan's culture, they're very patriotic, nationalists. Like they don't allow people coming in. Like they even had protests and riots for them having too many immigrants come in, which they didn't have as many immigrants coming in like the United States did. But they're very much, their culture is very much like, we're Japan. We want to keep things Japanese. We don't want that many people coming in. But at the same time, they also have a very aging population. So the government is trying to like, hey, we got to give a little bit, you know what I mean? So, but Japan is a very interesting. I don't think if outside of you being a Japanese, you know, ancestry, I don't know how easy that would be.
What the percentage?
Yeah.
1 drop rule.
Right. You know, the first samurai was actually an African man.
Actually runs through most of us.
Right. South Korea. I know some South Koreans. I have to talk to them. I actually have a lot of friends in South Korea, but I don't know how easy that'll get. I heard Spain is in number 4. I heard Spain and Portugal, might be a somewhat easier entry. Maybe Italy too. Well, I don't know. Italy, Rome, Catholic.
Well,
Church.
Germany might be a little bit easier too because
Oh
of
yeah.
because of their history. They're they had been. There's a lot of
Mhm.
percent on that internally now, but they have been very open to immigration and citizenship at one point. Like under Angela Merkel, I don't know what it is like now since she's out, but yeah.
I'm curious about because we're in America, like being so close to Latin America too, I think is important as well to like move around that space. I wonder if because of Spain and colonization, how strong the Spanish passport is in Latin America. Maybe that might be, because I'm trying to think strategically as well too. You know what I mean? Like, got my American one, give me an African one. And Spain is kind of like you get Europe and Latin America. That's kind of like a yeah. I don't know. Imagine me getting a French. Imagine me getting a French passport. Imagine. Anyway. Sorry, a little insider joke. I have a real big pet peeve when it comes to the French government. I have a really strong disdain for.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah, man. Haitian Revolution, all the stolen artifacts and what they did. Yeah.
I mean, you know what they're. I mean, with yeah. I mean, they're Haiti is still paying reparations for the fact that they got their independence.
Right.
How about the multiple African nations that are using the CFA franc that France doesn't even use?
Exactly.
Right. They have right of first refusal on any deals they want to do with any other international country. Yep. There's a lot. I mean, I'm with you. I was there a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I can't even enjoy the south of France because I'm just thinking about how this entire country was built off the backs of our people.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's like I don't want to give them a single dollar. Shout out to all the African French people who moved over there. I'm not talking about the migrants that went into France and stuff like that. I'm talking about them damn colonizers. But anyway. All right, let's get back to it. All right.
I want to talk to you guys a bit about how citizenship works and how one person can end up with 4 or more passports. Most of the world falls into one of 2 categories, either jus soli, which means right of the soil, or jus sanguinis, which means right of the blood. In the first case, right of the soil, it means that your citizenship is passed on to you through the soil of wherever you're born. So that's where you'll find a country like the United States, which has like pure jus soli. If you are born in the United States, our Constitution says that at the time of birth, automatically, no questions asked, you are a citizen of the United States of America. Then, in the case of jus sanguinis,
also including Puerto Rico for those people who forgot. Shout out to Bad Bunny.
Is that still the case though? Because I know Trump was like, "He ain't doing that no more."
Well, he's supposed to not do it for illegal immigrants having children in America and automatically getting citizenship.
Said, though, like if you were born on U.S. soil.
Right.
But okay, illegal.
Yeah. If you're an illegal immigrant that comes to the United States, Trump. I don't know if it passed or if he's actually trying to do it. I mean, you can get a visa. Oh, you talk about like, what if you had like a 3-month visa in America, then you're pregnant? I mean,
well, not boom, you're pregnant, but you're already pregnant and you got your visa and you drop the baby there.
I think that's what Akon did. Yeah, Akon's family did. That actually is what Akon's father did. So Akon's father, he's Senegalese, and so he actually had Akon, I think his brother, was it Missouri? Where did Akon? Let's see. Akon. Because I remember this. I was like, actually, this was brilliant. Yeah, St. Louis, Missouri. So his father, like, and mother, like, came to America, had them in St. Louis.
Dropped the package.
They went back to Senegal, raised them for a little bit, and then came back to the United States. And
passport.
Yeah,
my baby.
Yeah. So,
I wonder if we can do that.
I don't think anymore, especially in this climate.
Get that pregnant lady off the plane.
Right.
Well, no, you can do it. You just got to get a visa to come here, and that visa has to be timed for that window because you can't fly after a certain time, right? While you're pregnant, right. And then. So, technically you can do that still, but it's hard to get a visa to come here.
Right.
especially at the time frame that you want it, right? So that's the challenge.
Right.
You know, Akon was born in what, 70 something? It was a very different time back then.
Yeah.
It was a different time. He was born in 1973. Yeah, that was.
It was a very different time.
Early 70s.
You're right. I dang, he old.
Yeah.
man, 52. Yeah, definitely different time. Yeah, I don't think you can do that anymore. All right. Lo siento.
Where your citizenship is passed through blood, that is when you will need to have a parent that is a citizen of that country to be a citizen of that country. It has nothing to do with where you're born. If your parent is a citizen of Italy, you can be born in China, you can be born in France. If your parents are Italian, you will be an Italian citizen at birth. If two Italian parents give birth in the US, their child will automatically have both Italian citizenship and American citizenship. If two Americans have a baby in Italy, they will only have US citizenship, and furthermore they have to declare it, but I won't get too complicated. In between these two absolutes, we'll say, there are lots of different cases and nuances in between, because for example, you have a country like Jamaica where both of these regimes exist. If you are born to a Jamaican parent anywhere in the world, you are a Jamaican citizen, but if you are born on Jamaican soil, you are also a Jamaican citizen. Now, let's say that this is the baseline way of obtaining citizenship at birth, but there are actually other ways of obtaining citizenship. You could obtain citizenship through ancestry. So for example, Italy did have a law that kind of also goes along with jus sanguinis, where even if you didn't have Italian parents or your parents weren't Italian at the time of your birth, if your grandparents and sometimes your great-grandparents were Italian, you could still apply for Italian citizenship. Now, they recently changed this law, so I think it stops at grandparents, but that's the same kind of deal. If somebody along your line was from the country with citizenship by ancestry or descent, you can get citizenship through that. There are some special cases, like for example, Ghana, where if you are a person of African descent and you can prove that, so this was thought up for people of the African diaspora that have been spread around because of the transatlantic slave trade. If you are of African descent and a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade, Ghana has a special program where you can apply for citizenship through that. So there have been lots of African Americans that have been gaining Ghanaian citizenship through this path. Another way to obtain citizenship is by living in a country. So if you are a permanent resident or a resident of a country for a certain amount of years, after that amount of years, you can apply for citizenship. Another way is by marriage. If you marry somebody after a certain amount of time, you can apply for citizenship. There's also the option of citizenship by investment. For example, there are countries that will allow you to make an investment of a couple $100,000, and then you'll be able to apply for citizenship in their country.
You can marry a Japanese woman.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense, man. All them Blasians, man. All them the love for the anime, and yeah, okay, it's starting to I see what they're doing. Right.
There's a really wide variety of ways that you can get citizenship. I'd like to say, though, that a lot of people underestimate the difficulty of applying for citizenship, because in addition to the fact that all of these things have timing, there's a whole bureaucratic process. You have to have documents. You have to go to certain consulates. Say you have to apply for the Italian citizenship and you live in Connecticut, like I did. There's no Italian consulate in Connecticut, so you have to actually physically go to New York for every little thing. So it's actually, I don't want to oversimplify the process of getting citizenship. A lot of people think that if you marry somebody, then you're automatically a citizen of their country. No, that's not true either. In the case of Italy, you have to be married to somebody they keep changing laws, but as of now, if you don't have a child together, 3 years. If you do have a child together after 2 years, you will be able to apply for citizenship. And then there's a multi-year wait period once you do that. So it's definitely not automatic, but there are other ways that you can gain citizenship aside from being born in a certain place or being born to certain people. Back to answering the central point of this video, how did I end up with 4 passports? I'm eligible for 4 passports. I don't technically have 4 passports because, first of all, this Italian passport is actually not mine. It's my husband's and I use it for, for effect. But I do qualify for Italian citizenship, both by way of residence, because I moved here when I was 18 for university and I stayed here. So I've been resident in Italy long enough to apply through residence, but I've also been married to an Italian for years now, and so I can get it through that. I have not started my Italian citizenship application for multiple reasons. First of all, practically...
I'm sorry. I just watched the Dr. Umar video. I'm so sorry. Lo siento. I literally watched the Dr. Umar interview on the way down here. I'm so sorry. I cannot get his voice out of my head. Anyway, no, congratulations to your love and your union and everything like that. Very, very beautiful. Love is love. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what they say. I will say, though, that was some clickbait, though, saying that she got 4 passports, and that's really her husband's passport.
Right. But I will give her this caveat as well, too. She did say she's probably maybe recently married, because she said she can get it in 3 years if they don't have a child. If they do have a child, in 2 years, but it still might take a little bit longer. But she can at least apply at that point. So she most likely will get it. And she said she's been in Italy for a long time. So that's her 4th one. She probably is well on her way to getting soon. But yeah, still clickbaity, but you know.
Yeah. But I was right though. I told you, Italian.
You're right. You got it. You did get it, man.
Yeah, but I mean, what she's talking about, like, so, because the video is explaining the different types of citizenship. It's saying how can you get 4 passports, and she happens to be from a country that offers citizenship because her parent is Jamaican, right? She was able to get her Nigerian citizenship, and she was born in America, so she was born with the ability to have 3 at once by her birth.
Right.
That is not generally an option for everyone else.
Right.
So to be clear, right, this video is talking about different citizenships available, how a person can get 4 citizenships, which we now realize for her it's 3 technically, but she was born with the ability to have 3. So most people getting 4 is a difficult process unless you have a ton of money and you want to do citizenship by investment and collect passports.
Right.
It's a lot more difficult to get that many passports. So, you know, just for those that are watching, and, you know, I want to make sure that nuance is understood. I mean, listen, it's a great video because she's teaching a lot of people a lot about the different ways you can get citizenship. I just want to make sure it's clear that, you know, her 3, soon to be 4, has everything to do with her parents and where she was born.
Exactly.
And her husband.
Right.
And now her husband. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Slight flex.
Thinking I don't need it. In terms of countries that I have access to with a US passport versus an Italian passport, Italy has, I think, 3 or 4 countries more than the US, and they're like North Korea, Russia, not exactly countries that I need to go to. And so on the practical sense, should I take the time, spend the money to go through that long process that I already told you to get the passport? I'm an American. So as I mentioned in that first viral video on TikTok, my tax situation is a bit complicated, and getting the Italian passport while working and living in Italy would actually complicate my tax situation further. As of right now, I pay tax both in Italy and in the US. I have to have 2 accountants. It's always a mess, and I don't really want more of a mess every year when I'm filing my taxes. And lastly, from an ideological standpoint, I don't really want to participate in Italy's whole citizenship system because I don't find it to be fair. I find it to be exclusionary, and I find it to create problems and exacerbate problems that already exist in Italy. I have a friend, she's my same age, and on paper, we are basically the same person. We both have immigrant parents. We both are high performers. We both went to the top university here in Italy. We both work in good fields and make a good amount of money and pay lots and lots of taxes to Italy. But the difference is that I'm eligible for Italian citizenship and can get my Italian citizenship relatively easy, and she cannot, despite the fact that I was not born here or raised here, and she was raised here. Her parents were immigrants working in Italy, and when her mom became pregnant with her, she decided to go back to her country to give birth to her. Totally understandable. Even me myself, especially for that first child, after the trauma of, you know, pregnancy and, you know, childbirth, I would want to do that in a place that is more familiar to me, in my own language, you know, with my family. So she decided to go back, have the baby in her respective country. It's a West African country, and then after 6 months, she came back to Italy to be with her husband with her new baby. Now, fast forward 18 years, and Italy, like I said, it doesn't have you solely, and Italy's very complicated when it comes to bureaucracy, but just to simplify it, in theory, if you're born in Italy to immigrant parents, you should be allowed to apply for Italian citizenship. And on your 18th birthday, you basically have a 1-year time frame where you have to get a bunch of documents. Most notably, you have to prove that you were a resident in Italy uninterrupted for 18 years. This is relevant because it's very common that the Italian city halls where these documents are don't take proper care of the documentation. Sometimes documents will get lost. Sometimes they just won't do the documentation.
I bet, especially if you have a certain hue, you know.
So you have a lot of cases where people will not be eligible for their Italian citizenship on their 18th birthday because there's like a 1-month gap in their 18 years of residence in Italy, or in my friend's case, a 6-month gap of their 18 years in Italy. In that case, you don't get citizenship at 18, but I guess you have to wait another 10 years and apply like any other random foreigner. There are literally 2 million Italiani senza cittadinanza, so Italians without citizenship right now. Is a huge political issue. I would be remiss, because I think this video is coming out around that time, to not mention the referendum that they are having in Italy right now to change this law. It won't fix the problem, it doesn't eliminate all the problems, but but it would make it so that rather than waiting 10 years of residency, you can apply after 5 years. It would cut the time in half. And this would be very relevant for people like my friend, because without Italian citizenship, if you don't have that Italian, shiny Western citizenship, and you only have the citizenship of your parents from West Africa, that means you're going to be excluded from so many things. You're not going to be able to work public jobs in Italy because you need citizenship to work public jobs, and a lot of jobs in Italy are public jobs. You won't be able to go on school trips with your friends, and every few years you have to renew your residence permit, which, having done it myself, is a completely traumatizing and dehumanizing experience in Italy. So imagine that there are 2 million people in Italy right now that their lives are made unnecessarily complicated for no reason, because of the dysfunction of the society that they live in, or because I've often thought of it in the case of me and my friend. The only difference between me and her is that my parents picked the right country and her parents picked the wrong country. It's crazy to me that I am eligible for Italian citizenship, and she, who has lived here basically her entire life, is still fighting through the Italian legal system to get her citizenship and has had to overcome so many barriers. So just in terms of the ideology behind it, I don't really want to participate in that. I would actually feel some type of way that I get citizenship before people like my friend. It doesn't seem fair to me, especially due to the fact that, like I said, I don't need it. Dovrei dire in italiano, se c'è qualche italiano che guarda questo video e vive anche in Italia, andate a votare al referendum, per favore. Dare qualcosa a qualcun altro, o neanche dare, perché so che c'è tutta questa propaganda che dice che la cittadinanza non si regala, ma rendere la vita più facile di un'altra persona non toglie niente della tua vita. Quindi sarei remiss se non dicessi in questo video, per favore, andate a votare, per favore. Andate a votare. I don't yet have Italian citizenship, but maybe, who knows, one day I'll decide to apply for it, especially seeing how the world is going and how my country's behaving. But I have American citizenship because I was born in America. I was born in America, lived in America nonstop up until I was 18. Culturally speaking, it's almost as if the more that I live outside of the US, the more I see my American identity outweigh all of the other ones. I do believe that, you know, where the environment in which you grow up in, your parents only have so much control over your life. When you're going to school, when you're spending most of your day outside of the home, obviously you're going to absorb that culture that you're living within. And so sometimes people ask me if I feel like this or that. I definitely feel American outside of everything else. Another fun fact about American citizenship is that it's extremely difficult to get rid of. There is currently a wait list with I think it's like a $4,000 price tag if you want to renounce your US citizenship. And technically speaking, you're not allowed to renounce your US citizenship because of tax reasons. So it's a bit sticky and messy. The reason that this is an issue is...
Okay, all right. That's good kind of conversation, because I was trying to think, like, why would you want to get rid of that? Like, why would you want to get rid of U.S. citizenship? Like, oh, Uncle Sam, duh. So
you got to pay for that too,
right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Me personally, you know, like I said, not giving no personal advice, but just my opinion. Yeah, U.S. taxes, they suck. They do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But there are a lot of benefits to having a U.S. citizenship. I was like, even if I was to marry somebody who wasn't American or something like that, and we had children, I would still want my children to have the opportunity to have U.S. citizenship, right? So they can have that opportunity for themselves. Like, hey, you want to go to a school in America? Cool. You want to come back and see your family? No problem. Cool. And, you know, have those options just to have that flexibility. You know what I mean?
Of course, but that's also going into it assuming that someone's like that wants to do that is family oriented. So people are just kind of like me, and you know,
yeah, but
like them kids,
right. But I just like just to set your kids up with the most opportunity possible. You know what I mean? It will make sense, but
and then I also feel like, you know, in today's world and society, like we have so many like gray area people who are like not really looking for a family, not really looking for anything, and like they're content with that for like years into their lives. So it's like it's definitely like a rule, an exception to every rule.
For sure.
And then I'm thinking, like, you know, in the more, I guess, less third world-ish countries, like, you know, the ones that aren't like ours, maybe they're not missing anything, especially if like they're U.S. citizens, but they have family elsewhere, and they're like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
don't really need that.
Yeah, but like from what she said, like, so like I don't know what West African country she mentioned or whatever, but the fact of not being able to get a job in another country, so you're now you're limited to making a certain amount of money, or just because of that one little thing, or you're not being able to go on trips with your friends or your family just because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I'm more so I'm thinking about like more financially well off people will probably be more open to doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because the same way how there's a lot of people in the UK, for example, who are millionaires who just like, yeah, fuck them UK taxes, and said fuck that, denounced their citizenship and went over to Dubai, and now they don't pay no taxes.
Yeah, anyway, so like if the price is right, you can do just about anything.
Yeah, true. But yeah, all right.
Because there are some people that will have kids in the US to give their kids US citizenship for like status. If I'm thinking about like Chiara Ferragni in Italy, she's a big Italian influencer and she had her first kid in the US. He has US citizenship. And I just wonder if they know that their kids are gonna have to pay US taxes for their entire lives. Do they know that? I don't know if people know. And like I said, it will be probably quite difficult for them to renounce that US citizenship. Just throwing it out there. I also have Jamaican and Nigerian citizenship through both of my parents. The Nigerian citizenship was the first one that I got in 2019. I just had this feeling. I had studied economics in university and I just felt like Africa is the last frontier. West Africa is where it's at. 6 years later, I couldn't have been more right. This is, aside from my US passport, like the passport that is making the most things happen for me, the passport that is facilitating my life the most and what I'm doing in my life the most. And yeah, that's my Nigerian citizenship. And I think 3 years ago in 2023, I got my Jamaican citizenship, and it's just nice to have because I actually spent a lot of my childhood in Jamaica. I started school in Jamaica. I grew up with my Jamaican mom, and so I really feel like I was raised within Jamaican culture. After the American, I know I exhibit a lot of Jamaicanness. It's nice to have, even though I don't technically go to Jamaica that often, I'm still a Jamaican. Fun fact, I could go to Russia visa-free on my Jamaican passport because nobody hates Jamaicans. That is how I got my 3 and could get my 4th passport, how I could have 4 passports. A lot of people ask, but isn't there a limit to how many passports you can have? And the technical answer is no. It depends on the countries. So long.
I was thinking, this is gonna come out two weeks from now. Anyway, pray for Melissa, y'all. Pray for not pray for Melissa.
I was gonna say no,
I'm sorry.
For her. We don't want to pray for her.
My bad. Fuck Melissa. Pray for Jamaica. Pray for Jamaica. I don't know if you guys seen some of them the videos. Jamaican people are just so resilient. They just have so much incredible spirit to them and stuff like that. So like even while we're over here praying for them and we're terrified because we're seeing the news, they over there having Melissa parties and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But it was a very, very serious event, and I know a lot of people we're affected by it for sure. So prayers out to Jamaica. Love Jamaica. I was able to go back there. I was in Jamaica twice, but I went back there last year, and then I seen somebody post a video of the same resort that I was at, and I was just like, bruh, it's so crazy. Like most of the buildings was destroyed, but they had the statue of Bob Marley, and he's still standing. My man Bob's still standing, man. Shout out to Bob. Rest in peace.
I don't think we have our audio.
My bad.
Conflict. So for example, I know that China does not allow dual nationality, which means that if you get another citizenship, in theory, you should give up your Chinese citizenship. In the case of the US, they allow dual nationality, but they don't recognize dual nationality. So when you're going into the US and when you're leaving the US, you actually have to show your US passport, and it's a crime if you don't. And they basically just don't ask or care if you have any other citizenship. No country that I'm a citizen of has ever asked about my citizenship in another country. So yeah, you can have as many passports as your other passports allow you to have. As you guys can tell from the length of this video, I find all of this stuff extremely interesting, extremely relevant, and extremely important information to know, because as I said, the world is changing and you really have to hedge for any sort of situation. It would be thought that I would be fiending over this Italian passport because it's rated the second most powerful passport in the world, but there are reasons why somebody could not. Somebody could assume that my little West African passport isn't really worth anything, but actually to me and what I'm doing and my income, it actually is. If you're eligible for another passport, I highly recommend you get one. It doesn't take anything away from your life, but it definitely adds a whole range and host of opportunity if you can. That was a long one, but if you guys like this video and you like these kinds of topics, be sure to like and subscribe because that's what I talk about on here. Let me know in the comment section if you learned something that you didn't know before. And yeah, as always, I will see you guys in my next one. Mwah.
All right, round of applause. Definitely dope video. I'm gonna like and subscribe to her channel as well too. Very informative, you know, a little clickbaity, but you know, informative nonetheless. Yeah. I, you know, there is definitely benefits to having multiple passports, but there's also responsibilities too. Like, you know, I didn't even think about the fact of, you know, now you have more taxes that you got to worry about. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest thing. It's like I make all this money just for other people to keep their hand in my pot.
Right. But you know, you can also get more opportunities as well too, and move a little bit more freely. So, you know, there's always a give and take, right? So it's just, you know, depending on your lifestyle and what you're looking for and stuff like that, it makes sense. I think for me, you know, the selfish brain in me is just thinking like, I think all Black people in America should get a second passport because of our history, our lineage, and stuff like that. We are technically the only people that are in the United States unwillingly. Like, we didn't come here willingly. People either were already here or came here and stole land. We did not choose to be here. We're ripped of our heritage as well too. We were ripped of our identity, our name, our language, our religion, our culture, everything. So this is a great opportunity for us to, you know, reclaim some of that, you know what I mean, and you know, pick a spot and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of people who I call it ignorant for thinking that doesn't hold any value. The more that the world is starting to evolve, the more you're going to start to realize how valuable and important that actually is. Africa is the last frontier. There's a lot of things happening back on the continent. And do you want to see other people benefiting from a land that your ancestors came from? You know?
Well, no, but yes.
Right. and ancestors and you know, relatives of people who are loving and welcoming and want you to come back anyway. You know what I mean? It'll be one thing if they'll be like, yeah, nah, fuck y'all stay over there. That is a gross minority and propaganda, if you guys did hear anything like that. Because every single time I go to the continent, it's all love. And they keep telling me, like, why don't more of us come?
Fear mongering.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody and they were like, I was saying something about moving to one of the countries in the diaspora. And they were like, yeah, it's like a lot of flies. You might get malaria. I'm like, come on.
Bruh.
2025.
Bruh. I don't remember not one fly in Kenya. And I was in a safari. I don't know if it's just because I was just having such a good ass time, but I don't remember the flies and the mosquitoes and stuff like that. That was
fear mongering.
Yeah.
It's just like there's so many more people.
Right.
Who believe in the propaganda that we were like raised up on.
Right.
So
yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I will say I got the echo.
Oh, my bad. Let me oops.
Oh, that's all good.
There you go.
I will say malaria is a challenge on the continent of Africa, not as much in East Africa as it is in West Africa. But I will say that there are many more issues in the United States to be fearful of than malaria in West Africa.
Right.
You can take your malaria medication and you're all good. You know what I'm saying? It's a preventative medication that you can take. I mean, knock on wood, all the years I was in Africa, I never got malaria, and I stopped taking it after the first 2 weeks. Somebody the last trip I was there was like, Joe, you out here crazy not taking malaria medication. But since I moved to the States, I've been back to Sierra Leone 6 or 7 times in Ghana, and I haven't taken malaria medication in any of those trips or the first month I was living there. So I haven't taken malaria medication since December 2020. That was the last time I took malaria medication.
Right.
So do you have to take it like daily or like monthly or something like?
Some is weekly, some is daily. So it depends on which one. It's a preventative medication that you can take. So what malaria is a parasite.
That's concerning.
Yeah, it's a parasite that lives in your body and it can lie dormant and come back. Right. So yeah, and so that's why people who've gotten malaria keep getting malaria. Now I don't know, for whatever reason, I never got it. and now I'm scared. I'm going to take medication because now I'm saying it publicly. But I never got malaria, and I get bit by mosquitoes like crazy. Like I get bit up by mosquitoes all the time, but I never got it. I don't know if it's because I'm plant-based. I try to eat healthy. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but yeah, I mean, they do say it's hard for parasites to live in an alkaline body. I'm not 100% sure that has anything to do with it. I'm not saying that it does, but I'm just saying that's been my thing.
Right.
So, but it is a thing. It is a thing. But people are fear-mongering because there are ways that you can prevent against it very easily. You can, and most people are not going to be staying there for 4 years like I did. So, whatever time frame you're going there for, if you're worried about it, you can get something at the local CVS or whatever, or you can get malaria medication when you get to the country you're going to too. They have plenty of it there too. So
like you said, man, there's no such thing as a perfect, place. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be challenges wherever you go. Like you said, you can, they might have malaria in West Africa somewhere, but we got 364 mass shootings in 11 months here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, there's so many things. So, just find what works best for you and stuff like that. Don't believe the fear mongering. Go experience it yourself. All right. Guys, thank you for checking that out. If you guys like these type of videos and content, I actually saw this video from Wodamaya that just dropped recently. He traveled to China with the president of Ghana, and I know they blessed him with a Ghanaian diplomatic passport. I know we were talking a lot about passports this episode. I know we don't have enough time to do this video right now, but if you guys like it, we could do it next week for you guys. Just make sure you guys like it. Let us know you guys want us to check it out, and we'll do that.
One thing about Wodamaya, he's tapped in.
Yeah, for sure.
He's for sure tapped in. So he went to college in China. He started his YouTube channel.
I didn't know that.
Campus. Yeah, he started his YouTube channel while on campus in China. He started doing skits like 13, 14 years ago. He was doing skits. And then he started doing like Chinese people react to Africa, and he would show videos of certain parts of Africa and have Chinese people react to it. And then he saw a video by someone about a sewage dump in Ghana, and it made him think about wanting to come back to the continent. And then he moved back and started doing content there. I met him. We had a whole long conversation about, him moving back and what he was all about. And at this point, he had already had like 800,000 subs when I met him a couple years ago. We had a mutual friend. He's unfortunately passed, but yeah, I think his story is interesting because he was a guy he wasn't even from Accra. He's from a small village. His first time to Accra was just to take a plane to go to China for college. He had never even been to the capital city of Ghana before he left the country to go to China. It's an incredible story. Incredible story. Yeah. So shout out to him for getting the diplomatic passport. I think it's well deserved. I think other people should get it too. But yeah, shout out to him. I appreciate what Wodamaya is doing. And honestly, when I first started doing content on the continent, people were like, you got to check out this guy, Wodamaya. And I started watching. I was like, you know what? I want to meet him one day. I got a chance to meet him. He's really good people. Really good.
He's a pioneer for sure. Pioneer of like African travel and African travel vlogs for sure. But yeah, I can't wait to check out that video. So make sure you guys let us know. I will be remiss if we didn't tackle this one last video. It's shorter too. I'm gonna try to be respectful of you guys' time as well too. I know we gotta get out of the studio, but there's a crisis happening in Tanzania right now. Tanzania is a very special place for me because it was the very first African country that I visited. So I love Tanzania. I love the Tanzanian people. I had an amazing time. Spent half the trip in Dar es Salaam, the other half of the trip in Zanzibar. And my first experience in Africa was absolutely memorable, right? I do know that Tanzania has their challenges, and there's a lot of things in the news about what's going on, speculation and stuff like that about, protests, a couple of hundred people passing away due to protests, them shutting down the internet in the country, not allowing people to get in or get out information. And I think it is important. This video by Elizabeth Oma has been circling, and everybody that I know that talked about it mentioned that this is probably the best explanation of what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and react to this really quickly and see what the heck is going on and see if there's any way that we can, lend our voice out and stuff like that. So if you guys are new here, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Let's get into it.
You lost audio.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me get the audio back.
October 4th, 2025, a Saturday afternoon in Tanzania, a military officer goes on camera and tells his country, your government is stealing from you, and if we don't stop them, this nation will collapse. The man in that video is John Charles Tesha, a weapons instructor in the Tanzania Air Force, and he just did something that hasn't happened in Tanzania for 60 years. He's calling for the military to overthrow the government on camera, in uniform, live on social media. Within hours, this video is everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp groups exploding across East Africa. The government tried to delete it, but they were too late. 2 days later, Tesha is discharged. His whereabouts are unknown. So, why would a decorated officer throw away his entire career like this? What could make someone that desperate? The answer is President Samia Suluhu Hassan, Tanzania's first female president, the woman everyone thought would be different. Turns out, she's different, just not in the way people hoped. And that's where the story really begins. March 2021. Tanzania wakes up to shocking news. President John Magufuli is dead. The government says it was a heart condition, though he'd been missing for weeks and everyone suspects COVID. Darkly ironic, since Magufuli spent months telling people COVID didn't exist. Magufuli was intense. They called him the bulldozer.
I'll also mention this as well too. Tanzania was one of the only countries in the world that stayed open during COVID, because he did mention that he didn't believe in it, and that's actually how I was able to go to Tanzania. I was like, shoot, the world's dying. I'm not going to be dead before I go back to Africa. So that was another reason why I chose to go to Tanzania during that time and stuff like that. So
Beautiful country.
yeah.
Show up on.
I don't want to say the wrong name.
What?
Victoria. But
Victoria Falls?
the other name for
Zimbabwe? Oh, Mosi Otunya. No. This Tanzania is known for having the Serengeti, Mount Kilimanjaro,
Okay.
Zanzibar, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. I think I'm getting confused with the
Zimbabwe.
Yep.
Announced at government offices and fire people on live TV. It built roads, renegotiated mining contracts so Tanzania got more money instead of foreign companies, and stood up to the World Bank. Many people loved that. Finally, someone fighting for Tanzania. But he also went after anyone who criticized him. He arrested journalists, shut down newspapers, and banned opposition rallies. People either loved him or hated him, no in between. After being missing for 18 days, the government.
So I reported on this last week, and a lot of people came after me in my comments saying, look at all the good things he's done for the country. Why would you equate the current president with him? Because I asked the question, is she more of the same with a different face? Right. It says right here what he did. He silenced dissent, and although he had a public image of doing all the right things, there are problems with some of the things that he did. And that's what I was saying. So I feel vindicated, by the way, because I'm not the only one saying that. It was literally known by many. And he did do a lot of good things for the country. So I think it's important to mention that. But I think it's also, well, they're going to go into it in this video. So I'll leave it there. I'll let this play. I know we're limited on time. So let's get into the video and then I'll have some commentary afterwards.
Okay, got you.
Finally announced his death, but refused to let independent doctors examine his body. Did he really die from a heart problem? Or was it COVID? Whatever you thought of Magufuli, it felt real. Like he actually cared about Tanzania. So when he died, there was genuine grief. 2 days after Magufuli's death, Samia Suluhu Hassan takes the oath. First woman to lead Tanzania. First woman to lead any East African country. She's from Zanzibar, the island archipelago off the coast. Worked her way up through local government to minister, then vice president under Magufuli. She was 61 when she suddenly became president. The symbolism was huge. The international media celebrated. Finally, a woman leader. Things will change. And at first, it actually looked promising. She lifted some media bans, released a few political prisoners, started talking to the opposition, and even admitted COVID was real and encouraged people to get vaccinated. After 5 years of Magufuli's bulldozer approach, this felt like fresh air. Diplomats smiling. Tanzania was back on track. But here's what nobody paid enough attention to. Samia didn't just inherit the presidency. She inherited a system. Wait, let me explain. The CCM, Chama cha Mapinduzi, Party of the Revolution in Swahili, has ruled Tanzania since 1977. That's 48 years. Every president has been CCM. Every parliament is dominated by the CCM. There are other parties. Elections happen. But somehow, CCM always wins. Every single time. This party was formed in 1977, right after independence, when the mainland and Zanzibar's ruling parties merged. They wanted to unite the country under one vision, and that vision came from Julius Nyerere, Tanzania's first president. He believed in African socialism, self-reliance, and dignity for all. At the time, these were noble ideas. A united Tanzania building itself up without depending on former colonial masters. But here's what happens when one party rules for almost 50 years. The ideology fades away. The power stays. And eventually, staying in power becomes the only goal that matters.
That's like, imagine the Republican Party in power for 50 years straight. Or even the Democratic Party, like, you know.
Like our future.
Right. Yeah. That could be troublesome. And I've heard what the rumors are, that it looks like the votes were never really counted, which is what sparked the protest. But I'm sure they're going to get into that.
Uh-oh, I know it's not for history repeating itself.
Surrounding Samia, the old guard, former presidents, retired generals, wealthy businessmen with government contracts. These are people who've survived every administration, every reform, every promise of change. They are not going anywhere, and they have no interest in letting a woman from Zanzibar dismantle what they've built. So Samia had a choice: fight them and risk losing power, or work with them and stay president. She chose power. 2021, reform started. 2022, they slowed down. 2023, they stopped. By 2024, we are back to the old playbook. Media crackdowns, opposition arrested. The woman who promised change has become the system. The question is no longer whether she changed, but how far she was willing to go to stay in power. Do you want proof? Let me show you. August 11, 2024. Police arrest over 500 people in one day. Opposition leaders, youth activists, journalists, all detained ahead of International Youth Day. Among them, Tundu Lissu, the main opposition leader, Freeman Mbowe, party chairman, John Emeka, secretary general, 500 youth supporters, 5 journalists. They are released within days, just long enough to send a warning. 3 weeks later, police made it official. All opposition protests are banned. You can't gather, you can't march, you can't demonstrate. But something even more horrifying was already happening. People were disappearing. The Tanganyika Law Society, Tanzania's bar association, documented 83 cases. 83 people who vanished under mysterious circumstances. People like Dionys Kipanya, Chadema party official. July 26th, he gets a phone call. Leave home, never seen again. Diosdedit Soka and Jacob Godwin Imle, both young Chadema activists. August 18th, witnesses say men claiming to be police took them. Still missing. Frank Mbise, motorcycle taxi driver. Same day as Soka and Imle. Wrong place, wrong time. Also gone. Then, September 6th, 2024, Ali Mohammed Kibao, senior Chadema member, is traveling by bus from Dar es Salaam to Tanga. He was abducted in broad daylight. Witnesses saw men take him. 2 days later, his body was found dumped near the shore. The autopsy reveals severe beating, torture, and acid poured on his face. After Kibao's death, everything changed. People stopped talking openly. Activists went quiet on social media. Everyone understood. If they can do this to a senior opposition official in broad daylight, nobody is safe. By October 2024, families were desperate. Their loved ones had vanished. No answers, no justice. Then one of Tanzania's biggest newspapers, The Citizen, posted an animated video showing a cartoon character resembling President Samia sitting on a couch, remote in her hand, flipping through TV channels. On every channel, real families appeared. Families whose loved ones had disappeared. People like Edgar Mwakalebela, who was abducted. Johari Songoro, whose husband vanished in May. Yusuf Chola, whose son was taken in August. At the end, the cartoon president looks visibly upset by all the complaints. The video went viral. Finally, someone had shown what everyone was whispering about. The government's response? Suspended the entire media company for 30 days.
What?
Not just The Citizen, all their platforms, their website, their social media, everything offline. The reason? The animation armed national unity. The Tanzania Communication Regulatory Authority said the content threatened peace and stability. But here's the thing. The families in that animation are real. Their missing loved ones are also real. The newspaper didn't just make the story up, they just showed it. Online, the debate exploded. Some defended the president. They are only attacking her because she's a woman. Men can't handle a female leader. Others fired back. Stop hiding behind gender. This is about freedom of speech. A dictator is a dictator, male or female. The gender debate become a distraction from the real question. What happened to those missing people? Which brings us to this man, Tundu Lissu, the main opposition leader, the guy the government really wants to silence, and they've tried before. You see, in September 2017, Lissu walks to his car after a parliament session. Gunmen open fire. 16 bullets hit him. He survives, barely. Spends 3 years in exile recovering, 19 surgeries. The attackers were never found. January 2023, he comes back to Tanzania, rebuilds the opposition, becomes party chairman, and then April 9th, 2025, police show up at his door with charges of treason, which carries the death penalty in Tanzania. His crime, giving a speech calling for electoral reforms. That's it. He said the election system needs fixing. They scheduled his trial, then postponed it. Scheduled again, postponed again. This has happened 5 times now. You know why? Because the trial isn't the point. Keeping him locked up is the point. Can't have the main opposition leader free during an election. When international lawyers try to defend him, Martha Karua, a Kenyan lawyer, Boniface Mwangi, Kenyan activist, Agatha Atuhare, Ugandan lawyer, even Willy Mutunga, former Chief Justice of Kenya, Tanzania detained and deported them at the airport. President Samia's response? She warned about foreign activists invading and interfering in Tanzania's affairs. The government isn't even pretending anymore. Now come October 18, 2025, 2 weeks after Tasha's video, something unexpected happened at the Kenya-Tanzania border. John Heche, deputy chairman of Chadema, the opposition party, tries to cross into Kenya to attend Raila Odinga's funeral. Kenya's former prime minister, opposition leader for decades, Pan-African icon. Immigration officials took Heche's passport and detained him. No reason given. He pulls out his phone, starts filming, then posted it online. Within 3 hours, hundreds of people show up. Young people, Kenyans and Tanzanians together. Most have never met Heche. They just saw the video and decided enough is enough. They surround the immigration office. No violence, no property damage. Just people with their smartphones, making sure the world watches. 6 hours later, the government releases him. Think about that. A government that makes people disappear, that keeps opposition leaders in prison for months. They backed down in 6 hours because of a crowd with cameras. The youth just learned something powerful. When you show up together and the world is watching, governments think twice. Oh, and here's the best part. While opposition members were detained at the border, guess who attended Raila's funeral representing Tanzania? Vice President Philip Mpango, government ministers, former President Jakaya Kikwete, and businessman Rostam Aziz. Remember those last 2 names? They're about to come up again. Now, let's circle back to Captain Tasha, because everything I just told you, the disappearances, Lissu in prison, the border detention, Tasha saw all of it. And on October 4th, he decided he has had enough. I don't blame him. And you see, for over 2 hours, he talked. He accused specific people. Former President Kikwete, businessman Rostam Aziz, the same people I told you that attended Raila's funeral. He called them the deep state. He said they've been looting the country for years. He listed corruption scandal, the Richmond Energy deal, Tegeta escrow fraud, mining concessions sold cheap to cronies. Then his demand, the military should take over the government, stop the fake election coming up, investigate Magufi's death. Because you see, Tasha saw Magufi as a patriot, someone who stood up for Tanzania against foreign control. Tasha believes Samia and the CCM killed him, maybe not directly, but he thinks they are responsible. So in his mind, calling for a coup isn't treason, but loyalty. The video goes viral. People start calling him Ibrahim Traore wa Tanzania, comparing him to the soldier who took over Burkina Faso. But his message still spreading. Which brings us to now, Election Day, October 29th, 2025, just days away as I'm recording this. Samia is on the campaign trail. CCM is running a full campaign. Billboards everywhere, rallies, the whole show. But here's the setup. Main opposition leader, still in prison, facing the death penalty. The only other parties allowed to compete are so small, so weak, that political analysts, they openly call them CCM puppets. Parties that exist just to make it look like there is competition. Nicodemus Mindy, researcher at the Institute for Security Studies, tracked the pattern. CCM's vote share went from 58% in 2015 to 84% in 2020 to 99% in the 2024 local elections. The prediction for this election, 99% again. Observers have raised concerns, warning this won't be free or fair. But would that stop anything? Well, no. The election goes ahead regardless. But here's the sad part. Tanzania is beautiful, incredible people, rich culture. For 60 years, Tanzania was different. While its neighbor had coups and civil wars, Tanzania stayed calm, stable. The country that just worked until it didn't. Now, it's a system that pretends to be democratic while crushing everyone who actually tries to practice democracy. And when you criticize it, some will say you are just against women in power, that this is all sexism. Look, I've wanted a woman president as much as I've pushed for younger African leaders. But gender isn't the issue here. See what's actually happening. Disappearances, silenced media, rigged elections, and the opposition's locked up. Democracy is dying. History will not judge Samia not by whether she's male or female, but by what she did with the power when she had it. There's a Swahili proverb. When the monkey's day to die comes, all the trees become slippery. This story is not over yet.
All right. Round of applause for this woman for her bravery and bringing this up to us. Let's see.
Great video, very engaging, very.
Yeah, for sure. The couple things I want to say about this. So one, so when the protest started, obviously some people went a bit further than peaceful protests, right? So there was looting, there was destruction done to businesses, etc. And that's going to happen when people are upset. But to go back to the issue of being in one party in power for so long, what that does is it sets up an apparatus that doesn't allow for any dissent or anyone else. As you saw, what they were doing from 2015 is crazy, right? To 99% of the vote share.
Right.
Each municipality has representatives, right?
Right.
Each municipality has representatives that are from the ruling party. And if it comes from the top down that we need to ensure that we win this, that means there's going to be all kinds of suppression of votes from the opposition party, uncounted votes, bullying people so that they don't want to go to the polls to vote. Right. You know, there are all kinds of ways that they have been suppressed from voting and changing the outcome of this election. They had a really popular figure who they've mentioned who was shot previously 16 times.
Right.
You know, and his name is escaping me right now. It's a late night, but the people want him. And so what it feels like is they're potentially on the verge of what could be a coup type situation if President Hassan is not careful with how she's handling this. She's already been elected. She's already elected the new president. Like, it's already happened.
Okay.
So this video, I think, was before the election. So she's president now. And now technically elected president. So she's in power. That party's in power again. And it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. It's sad. It's sad to see. But what is heartening for me is to see that the youth are out protesting, and people in neighboring countries also see this as an issue and they're protesting. And I talked to people on the ground when I went to Tanzania, and they weren't big fans of her, but they were scared to talk about it. And I didn't really fully understand why, you know, because when I go to a country, I usually ask people, like, how do you feel about your president? You know, and you know, we were on a trip. There was a bunch of people in the bus. Our tour guide, very well knowledgeable about the country's history, and he was so scared about her. I mean, he was really scared. So anyway, you know, we'll see what happens. But it you know, this is the issue with a country so beautiful when you have a party in power so long.
Right. Yeah. No. I just felt like the need to bring this up and talk about it because I know we spoke about Tanzania before and Zanzibar. Like I said, it's the first African country I've ever been to. You know, and this is, I know it's a very hot topic. This one video itself, I mean, it just dropped 5 days ago, got over 1 million views on YouTube, and people are concerned. And you know, I see this, you know, happening often. You know, I mean, you have, you know, alleged possible corruption in a government, stuff like that, and then you have the youth of the African continent and the citizens of the African continent, you know, trying to find a way to fix, you know, their country and their problems, stuff like that. It's like Tanzania is a incredible, beautiful country, and you know, it's sad that, you know, something like this could be going on. But yeah, having one party in for 50 years, and it's kind of egregious, and especially when you're using tactics to silence people. I mean, you're literally removing people, and people are mysteriously disappearing or passing away or being locked up. And the fact that you don't like what people are saying about you, so you shut down their internet, like, to me, that's extremely alarming. Like, of course, you know, yes, I have an American brain and stuff like that. Like, imagine if our president said, you know what, y'all been making fun of me too long, you'll call me an orange man and all this stuff. Yeah, no more TikTok or Instagram for you guys.
You tried.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? But for us as you know, people in the West or Americans, it's just so foreign to us to understand and grasp the fact that, what do you mean that they can just silence you and turn your voice mute and stuff like that? So amazing. I give kudos and to those young people who came to that man's aid and just like, yo, we need the world to see this. Like, this is the issues that we're dealing with and stuff like that. Like, just tremendous courage from the Tanzanian people. And you know, my hearts and prayers definitely go out to the people of Tanzania. And you know, I pray for justice and fairness and everything like that. Like, I hope it gets resolved. You know, because Tanzania is just too beautiful of a country. It's just, no, like, get this shit together. You know.
Word.
Yeah. All right. We have overstayed our welcome tonight, guys. On a lighter note, I just want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Top Hill Live. I want to thank our very, very special guest, Joe, with the Authentic African. You know what I mean? And you know, with Joe, hey, you got the confetti, man. Also, you know, Top Hill fans, like, Joe is going to be a more regular guest as well too. He'll be popping in, you know, more often every now and then. We have great conversation, man. Like, you know, we have to find a way to get more studio time because we could be here wrapping it up. But yeah, man. Did you want to leave off with anything before we sign off or anything?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank y'all for having me. Once again, for the audience who stayed on this long. I mean, I think the live stream is almost 4 hours in total.
Yeah.
So I see I just checked in on my YouTube, and a bunch of my subscribers have been staying on for the long haul, and many of y'all were on both live streams because I did go live earlier today. So I want to thank you guys all for being here, and I want to remind everybody, it is free to like, to comment, and to share and to subscribe to these platforms. And I will do another reminder that this is very, very difficult to do. Imani has an hour and a half to drive home at 12 plus a.m. I'm not sure how far Carmen has to go, but Carmen's not in her home right now either. So she got to go 45 minutes. So just know, when we're doing this, it's because of our passion for the continent and our passion for sharing this knowledge. And so we need your help to spread the word, because, as I said before, the platforms don't incentivize us for sharing good information. They incentivize nonsense, and we're not with that. So, I appreciate all of you who've watched, but make sure that you guys help us get this to more people for sure. That's what I got to say.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. And Carmen, any final words?
Yes, Joe, it was so nice to finally meet you. I am so glad that we had a great show tonight. I came in a little in the second half, but I do look forward to interviews with you in the future, and this is great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No, girl, get out of here. Carmen and I have a very special announcement to make for next week's episode. So everybody who I don't want to say too much, tune in next week on Top Hill Live, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got a very special announcement. Very, very special announcement. I cannot wait. So make sure you guys tune in. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much. Catch you guys in the next one. Let's go ahead and turn up to get some good outro music, man. I was vibing after this one. Oh no, not you, Rick. Smooth it out, man. Smooth it out. Yeah.
Chobani.
Huh? What? Oh yeah.
He said,
I didn't know. My name is Imani.
No, because now when we get out, leave us, like Chobani.
Oh my God, dog. I know it gets late, it gets silly.
Witching hour.
Mm-hmm. Huh? Oh no, you won.
One of these days, money.
I don't know, man. We out. Peace. Hold up, end stream.
Here we go.